broadcast to the internet, and people can hear what you say.
Hello, internet.
Hello, internet.
Hello.
Hello,
Hope you like the
interwebs.
things I say.
Hello, everybody. Thanks
How are you
for
against it?
tuning in. Oh, I'm getting feedback because I think I've got a window open with our
Oh, I thought-
show.
I thought you were saying like someone was just saying, "These guys
there we go.
suck."
No, no. I heard my own voice.
We haven't just started yet.
Chance, man.
I thought
Come
someone was
on,
mocking
dude.
me with a really accurate impression of myself, but it was actually my own audio a few seconds delayed.
It was your computer mocking you.
Firstly, whomever's doing that, stop it. Wait, is that me?
Where's that guy from Police Academy when you need him? Michael
sound
Winslow.
effects.
Michael
Yeah.
Winslow.
But we're back. We're back with another episode of We Kill Monsters, the weekly D&D show where some friends survive lockdown by playing, and some of us learning how to play or learning how to DM for the first time, and playing the latest adventure from Wizards of the Coast, Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. This is not the only D&D game that we play. I play some other games with some of the people here as a player. My brother has his own stream, DC30, that you guys can look for, where he plays a Mythic Odyssey of Theros. And Min has his own stream, but not D&D related, where he teaches you how to do cool graphical effects. But he doesn't want you to tune in.
No, you're not allowed. Go away. You're welcome.
But without further ado, let's get stuck into it, because tonight, as with every night, we kill monsters. Last we left you guys, you had returned from the caves. I actually get the name of the caves wrong. Cauldron caves, that's what they were called. Where you fought a witch, nearly dying perhaps, or at least some of you, and had returned with a magical cauldron into town. After reporting back to the captain of the guards and withholding some of the information, you had given yourself the name Tier 4, which is now what you'll be known as a group. And had finally decided to investigate the Easthaven ferry, where all clues had been pointing you was some Duergar up to no good. On that boat, you only found one Duergar, a high-ranking member of the Zardarok family, one of whom you'd already killed at the Duergar outpost, and had been met with some mind powers that you had not encountered before, which had resulted in some of you, specifically Caliban, attacking members of your own party and nearly killing Grandma, the elven mummy that you guys run around with.
Yeah, I was totally controlled by mind powers. Yeah, that's what happened.
And you discovered that there's a big plot to destroy Icewind Dale with a mechanical Chardalin dragon. And that's where we left you guys. So you're on the boat, on the ferry, Easthaven ferry, with an unconscious Dearth, trying to decide what to do next. What would you like to do? Tier 4?
We're awaiting the return of more Duergar, if I remember
We want
correctly.
to deliver the captive to the city speaker or whatever first.
Yes, the god, the leader of the god, was it? The Indra?
Indra.
Or whatever.
If memory serves, we were all holding on to him for now because we didn't want to be seen in town with prisoner. We were waiting at both for other Duergar, and we were laying trap, and we were discussing about the trap.
Exactly.
Yes, because they would have been able to see us in the town. Yes.
All right. Someone was going to secure him in the hold. That was it, because we didn't want him around to cause trouble during the ambush.
Okay.
Correct.
So making sure I understand this. Instead of returning the prisoner right away, you're putting Dearth underneath in the hold, and then waiting for the remaining Duergar to turn up. Is that correct?
And if you'd like Durbik to secure him in the hold, I can make sure he's very secure.
Are there any crates or anything in the hold we could stack on top of him so if he shrinks it'll squish him?
I don't. There's some boxes, empty boxes and things. Integrates.
You know what? It couldn't hurt. Just pile them on.
Also, no, I was reading. No, don't worry.
Anything that's not bolted down goes on top of him.
And okay, so if you put him on the hold and then you wait for the remaining Duergar, how and where would you like to wait?
Xu'xa, you can make yourself look like one of the ones we took down, yes?
Yes, I can.
It may buy us a few seconds in terms of luring them into a disadvantageous position for them.
Well, just as a possible question, what do we do if the other Duergar don't show up today?
We know
alarm.
from last session. We also knew that they were going to be back this evening. They usually are back by the evening, so if they don't come back by then,
spooked, means they know we're here
Yeah.
and they've been spooked.
so if they come, we wait an hour after kind of the equivalent of dusk, and then.
Okay.
Sorry, just recapping from last time.
No, that's okay.
So my question is, the cabin's quite small. Are you waiting inside? Are you waiting outside? Where are you hiding?
Is there any... Okay.
So
Yeah, I
let
think
me
we
show
need
you
to
the
know layout
cabin.
of the deck. I think we need to know the layout of the deck of the ferry. Right? Yeah,
Yep, I will show you. I have prepared a small map. It's not super accurate, but it's as close as I can get.
Oh,
It
cool!
is very quaint.
It looks edible. It looks like you could eat it. I don't know what it's made of. It looks...
It's plastic, but it's supposed to look like
Okay.
wooden
Like a
planks.
bird box.
I think there's a business opportunity for gingerbread minis, actually. When you-
I think this is a very good.
It is to help with
Yeah.
is to help with when the character dies, you get to console yourself by eating it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Marzipan
Yes!
characters.
So as you-
Shortbread bricks. Bricks of shortbread or gingerbread, that sounds
Dre,
amazing.
is there sort of a stairway or something down into the hold so like we could get
That'll be further, let's say, it's kind of off map, the stairway down into the hold, on the other side of the boat that I didn't build. Further
I
down.
think we have one or two people in the cabin to try and lure them in, and then the rest come bolting out of the hold.
I could pretend
I
to
could
be
put it
dead and
here.
lay on the floor of the cabin. Like Xu'xa's disguise took me down.
Yes, I like this plan.
So that's a stairway up, but let's pretend it's down.
Yeah.
Perhaps I could go on the roof of the cabin and stealthily hide up there, and then could pot shot them with the hand crossbow.
You could be up there for a while. You sure you won't freeze to death?
Oh no, I'm warm-blooded, and I have locks here who keep me warm like a little hot water bottle. Very hot water bottle he is.
That's good. I'd hate to forget you were there, and then we come back and it's like the end of The Shining.
Yes, no, that would not be good either. No, but I have the warm clothing and the little handheld hand warmer that I purchased. So no, I should be fine.
Great.
How high is the cabin?
Sorry?
How high is the cabin?
The cabin is basically just 1 story high. It's quite, inside you probably have, 7 or 8 foot. It's not a very high ceiling. And the whole room is 10 foot by 10 foot. Okay, so it's just a small kind of captain cabin. Right now, you guys are kind of packed inside. I put Caliban, Xu'xa, and Akeem inside because Akeem was interrogating, Xu'xa was mind probing, and I figured that Caliban, being the first one in during the fight, would still be in there, but everybody else is outside.
Oh yeah, no, I'm still in there. Is
So-
there...
I'm gonna take out Dearth because you guys put him in the hold. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I took a couple of hits then, I think. No, I did not. Never mind. Just
So-
wondering if we can knock some shit over and make it look like it was a bigger fight than it was.
Or smaller.
Not much to knock over here, is there?
I don't think we should make it look like it's been disturbed at all. I think
I
it
think-
should look
yeah.
completely
Normal.
normal. If anything, it should just look exactly as they left it. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I get the feeling
Rover?
Rover wants to say something.
Um,
But I'm going to talk
sorry,
in front of
we
him.
wanted to every time. I think it's best if we wanted to still look like Scuffle. As I understand, plan is for Caliban to look dead. Xu'xa is to do weird thing where she looks like Duergar, so that she can at least lull them into false sense of security and be like, "Oh, there was an attack," because that would also explain all the snowy footprints we've all made on ground.
And then I like Oreo on the roof and the rest down the stairwell.
Yeah, I will be at front of stairwell ready to cast Fairy Fire, if you would like some kind of signal for when you want it. In case they go invisible and try to run away again,
Okay. And Nana? Where's Nana? Where's
Right now, she's outside next to Durbik. You can see the mini next to Durbik, which is the red little dwarf. There's that's Nana's miniature that I'm using.
If we put Nana guarding the Duergar, that frees up Durbik.
Yes.
This is fair.
I will instruct Nana to make sure that the Duergar stays unconscious. Those are her instructions.
Okay. Fair enough. So Grandma is underneath with Dearth. Yes.
And I'm very clear about unconscious versus like dying.
Very good. Okay. Any last minute adjustments? Do you want to be inside, outside of the cabin? Anything like that?
Down the stairs waiting, right? So it's Xu'xa and Caliban in the cabin.
Okay.
Oreo on the cabin. And this is like preposition time on Sesame Street. And the rest of us across from the cabin down the stairs.
Okay. I can do that.
I will lay face down in like a scattered position, but where I could quickly grab my sword.
Doesn't have headphones on. Doesn't have his headphones on there.
I have a question. If you are using wait a second. If you are using Misty Step.
Very good. Sorry. Did I miss something?
Sorry, I was just asking a question. If you're using Misty Step, are you able to use Misty Step if there's any kind of wall or
Misty
structure
Step
in the way of that?
Yes,
are you able to go
but
through
well, Misty Step has to be somewhere you can see.
that? Okay. I just want
So
to know if
there are
wall
windows. There are
ceiling.
windows on the side of the little cabin, but they're kind of obscured. You'd have to kind of make sure you clean the frozen snow from the outside so you could see through.
it. Okay. Okay.
If you do that, then you can see through and you can Misty Step through.
Okay, cool. Just asking.
I was saying I will lie face down in a position that looks like I fell, but where my sword is, where I can grab it quickly.
As yourself, yes. You're not using. Oh, you already used your tattoo, so
It'll wear off by the it's worn off.
And for the sake of the plan, there should only be one person that looks like a Duergar on the boat.
I feel like there only can be, unless does anybody else have the ability to
No, I mean for just the fact that
Yeah.
they're only expecting one person who looks like them there.
Oh
If they
yeah.
saw two, then that would be, they'd wonder what happened.
okay. You guys.
Last thing. Sorry.
Yep.
Is anybody hurt? Anybody need some healing?
Nana's hurt, but I don't know if we can mend her.
Don't worry, I got this. I will. Oh wait, didn't I heal Nana already?
You can't
No.
heal the undead.
I've been waiting for this to
Settle.
come up.
You can't use life energy to infuse life into something that's dead.
You have to
All right.
wound it further.
All I'm gonna say, this game is strange.
Oh, hang on.
There's undead, but you can't heal them. Like, they're undead.
Well,
I don't even know anymore.
they're held together by evil necromantic magic, so if anything, healing them with a healing potion or something like that would probably hurt them.
That reminds me, I think I said last time Nana's at... yeah, okay, I've remembered where she was at. I know how much HP she has.
Okay. So, as you all get ready to sort of wait out for the Duergar, please all roll a stealth check for me.
Can I roll a performance check instead, since I'm...
Yeah, actually, yeah, fair enough.
And we start the night.
Well, you have to roll both, kind of, I think.
Really?
Fantastic roll. Natural 20 on the die.
Okay.
All right.
Me
All
as
right.
well.
Taking
Natural
26.
20,
Nice.
which gives me 22.
So, on the performance check, natural 17 for a total of 21. And also a stealth check?
Yeah, don't worry. Your DC isn't high because of the your performance, but I just need to know if like how quiet you were getting yourself ready.
Okay, okay, so 15 total on the stealth check.
Thank you.
Durbik is total of 8. But
Okay.
I'm down the stairwell, so it's okay.
Okay. Rover.
19.
Okay. And Xu'xa, sorry, did you tell me your
13. I
13?
got 13. Thank you.
Okay.
Bunch of high rollers up in here.
Okay. So, not less than 5 minutes from when you all get ready and set up, and you starting to wait for what you think will be several hours, you hear some creaking on the deck. And suddenly, at the door of the small cabin, you hear a knock. What do you do?
Why would they knock? Would they knock? Okay. Alright. Was there a specific amount of knocks? Was there?
I knocked, but I don't know if you heard it. Did it not come through?
No, it did. It did. I just wondered if it was like possibly
was-
a knock or a knock that needed a couple of like knocks to the end. I thought it might be.
Secret knock.
But we can't see them, so they're invisible.
Okay.
You have a few seconds. What do you do?
Rover?
I guess we go. Guess I go over open the door.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, so you open the door, and
I blast them immediately.
Okay.
I just really open it and go and blast them with my Eldritch Blast immediately.
okay, a roll to hit with disadvantage.
This was not the plan.
Oh, what were we supposed?
It was not.
What were we supposed to do? Just not answer?
Bring him a little closer so I can stab him in the butt.
Too late.
That's a different
So what did you need me to roll? So I rolled on the dice. What did you need me to do?
Roll to hit with disadvantage and tell me what you got.
So that it is 18 to hit, I guess.
Okay, that hits. And roll damage.
What was that with disadvantage?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, it was. The other one was higher. The other one was much higher. And sorry, I'm just getting my damage dice. It wasn't.
Should be D10 plus creature.
Okay, so 7. 7.
7 damage. Okay, give me just a second to change to battle noises.
By the way, are they? When I open this door, are they? How close are they? Because
They are, so you don't even see them. You open the door, and you fire your Eldritch Blast, and it hits, and it's only like a few feet, like 1 or 2 feet away from where you were.
so
And
they
it
are
just-
they're less than 10 feet. Okay.
I just realized Mary still looks like the Duergar, so as far as this Duergar is aware...
They're
Chris,
very,
or son-
very, very confused. Okay, so I need you all to roll for initiative.
Fighting now.
Ooh.
I was going to say,
Right.
I was ready. I said before, I'm as soon as stuff goes down, I'm going to cast Fairy Fire.
Okay, very well. So I have to see if they fail it.
So now, before, I don't know whether you want to do it as part of initiative or before initiative.
What's the DC? No, I can do it out of initiatives. What's the DC?
DC 14 Dexterity.
Okay, they've all failed.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Okay, so what's
now
everyone's
they're all
initiative?
glowing with kind of purple-green flame.
18.
18 for Caliban.
Yep.
21.
Duergar is just like Caliban, only one less. Unfortunately, it's the one to the left of the 8 that's less.
Okay.
So 8.
Everyone else? Akeem?
17.
Okay. Wow. Rover?
Dirty 20.
Okay.
And,
And Oreo?
well, you see, obviously I wasn't expecting that so quickly because I rolled really badly. It was a natural 1, so I get a 5 on my initiative.
Oh dear.
First roll 20, second roll natural 1. Excellent.
Okay.
Dice give us, and the dice take it away.
Exactly.
So I'm going to say, I'm going to set something up. So I'm going to pre-narrate something, basically, because otherwise I'll have to go there twice. The moment this all happens, you guys just hear the knock, and the door suddenly swings open, and you see Xu'xa hit something that isn't there. Just a huge, like, splash of arcane energy that highlights, and the shadows cast by the Duergar highlight where they are. And at the same time, Rover casts his spell, and suddenly they glow a light, revealing their position just in front of the door. Now, what they'll do on their turn, which unfortunately is like after almost all of you, in fact, it is after all of you, is they'll grow to their large size. Okay? They're going to enlarge, but I'll do it now, because otherwise I have to go back and forth twice. 1 second.
Sounds like quitters talk to me.
Okay.
Good mini.
So, Xu'xa, you've just fired at Eldritch Blast because you were so ready, but it's still your turn. You still have an action to go. You can fire again. You can do whatever you like.
I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself.
Just leave me here.
I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself.
Okay.
And so that's a dirty 20.
You don't have to roll for invisibility. You just have to touch yourself and you're invisible.
I thought I had to do. I thought I had to do.
I may be face down, but I fucking see how it is.
So Caliban on the floor with his eye half opens, like what the fuck, and you just see Xu'xa mutter an incantation and touch herself on the chest and disappear.
Alright.
Broke man.
Is it my go? Sorry,
It is Rover's turn with his dirty 20, and you are down the stairs within range if you wanna like move up to the Duergar.
So I'm just gonna move up to like the top of the stairs and like just get out of the way so everyone can get past me.
Okay.
And then on probably the one, whichever it's probably the one by the door that's already been kind of knocked back. I'm going to cast Create Bonfire underneath its foot.
Okay. Very well.
I wouldn't be that close to melee. I'd take a step back if I was that close, sorry.
I thought for a minute you were going to
Wasn't
set
sure.
me on fire.
Sorry, I didn't catch that because I had my headphones off. What did you say?
I was going to say, I'm maybe a step back from the door.
Ah,
If there's-
okay.
I don't know how big the ship is.
Further back? Okay.
Yeah, a little further back from there.
And it's a dexterity save, yes? Natural 20,
Again.
sorry.
Yeah, that passes.
Does that, he takes no damage or half damage? Or?
No damage. Yeah,
No damage.
Sorry.
So this guy was surprised by the first hit, but now, you know, like he knows something's up and dodges out of the way at the last minute, and the fire that Rover's conjured doesn't harm him. Okay, it is now Caliban's turn.
I turn around and I say, okay, we're doing this now. I stand up.
Okay.
I can see all three of them, yes?
That you can kind of see the others through the door, but because they haven't enlarged yet, they'll do that on their turn.
Okay.
But the door's kind of obstructed by the one that opened it. The one that was in front of it.
I stand up, stow my sword, I don't pick it up. I pick it up and sheath it. And with my free hand, I will trace a violet glyph in the air and cast Bane centered around the area where the Duergar are. It's a, let me just double check. It's a 30-foot, oh sorry, no, that's the range. The AoE is up to 3 creatures of your choice that you can see within range. So within 30 feet, can I?
Yep, you can, I would say yes, you can see them.
Okay. They will all need to make charisma saving throws.
Is this a charm effect?
No.
Okay. Well, their charisma is -1, so oh well. Spell. Oh, but I have advantage against saving throws against spells and illusions. Okay.
Not spells and illusions. Okay, fine. Yep.
First one has a 17, -1, 16.
Succeeds.
Okay. Second one gets 12.
Fails.
Okay. So the one on the left has failed. And the third one gets a 14.
14 just succeeds. The DC was 14.
Okay.
Okay.
So the one on the left, what happens to him? He gets D4 minus...
He has a D4 penalty to attack rolls and saving throws.
Okay. Very good.
I will then use the remainder of my movement to stand in the doorway, hold up my shield and say, "Come on!"
Very good. Akeem, it is your turn. You're down below deck. You can see that the Duergar.
I am very confused as to what just happened, but I'm ready to get into action. And I cast Firebolt.
1 second. Shit. Rover disappeared and then reappeared. I have to re-add him. Okay, there we go. You cast. So do you cast it from down below? Do you run up to the deck and move anywhere?
Yeah, I've run up at this point because obviously, like, I know something has gone horribly wrong with the plan. So
Excellent.
I run up.
Where would you like me to place you in relation to?
At the front, please.
Right at the front. Okay.
Yeah. And I cast Firebolt to the one on the left.
Okay. Very
I
well.
want to try and avoid hitting Caliban, and if there's anyone there near him.
Okay. Very good. So Akeem runs out and fires his bolt, out of his hand. Please roll to hit.
Wait, what am I rolling again? The D6?
No, it's so 2. Sorry, 1 second. My brain's rebooting. Your firebolt, first you have to roll a D20 and add 6 to it.
Okay. Ooh, this is gonna hurt you. Shit, man. This is going to be 23.
Okay, that definitely hits. Roll a D10 to see how much damage it causes.
A D10?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I see that. Yep. Hold on. Do they all have... 4.
4. So your firebolt leaves your hand and hits him right at the back of the head and scorches like his exposed bolt patch and kind of starts to like sear into his skin, and he takes a bit of damage. And do you have any other actions that bonus action you can do?
How do I know about bonus action? By the way, is it just under action?
Bonus action should be under bonus action.
Ah, there it is. Okay. Interesting. Two-weapon fighting. So I.
But that only applies if you use the weapon to do your first bit.
Then no.
Okay.
So I'm up.
Very well. Okay, so it is now Durbik's turn.
I would like to rage.
Very well.
How far is the staircase from the baddies?
It is 15 feet, plus probably 5 foot from you guys being just below. So it's 20 feet to the...
So I can charge, close that distance, and attack with the great axe.
Yes.
Fantastic. That is what I would like to do.
Okay, which one? You want to attack?
The great axe on my back.
No, which...
Duergar.
Yeah.
I will go, I guess, for the one on the right.
Okay, very well. Please roll to hit.
That, my friend, is a 25.
Okay, what did you get?
In damage?
No, did you hit? What did you
25 hit.
25 to hit.
25. Oh,
I
it's,
hope he hits.
they're glowing with fairy fire, so you get advantage.
Sorry,
So
27 to hit.
No, because they indeed they cancel out.
Cancel out.
okay, sorry.
Okay, good.
Okay.
And that is 15 points of damage.
Oof. That is quite a solid chunk. You see Durbik run up the stairs, fully raging, veins pulsing through his neck. He takes out his great axe from his back and just swings it hard right across the back of one of the Duergar, and like the Duergar screams, "Urgh!" and a splush of blood like flies into the air and scatters onto the deck, staining the snow.
And
It
anyone
is-
in melee within 5 feet of me, get their melee attacks are with advantage.
Excellent. And it is now Orio's turn.
So Oreo sees Durbik attack the one against. Time for a little sneaky, attacky. Takes aim with Tabitha, the crossbow, and fires at the one on the right.
That's a terribly technical terminology you're using there.
And 19 plus 6, so 25 to hit.
Oof, that hits.
So that's 6 plus. So that's 11 points of damage.
Okay, which one was it? Sorry.
One on the right, the one that
Okay, do it,
takes.
go.
Okay, sneak attack.
So Oreo, finally figuring out what's happening, just kind of fires from the top, and like the arrow just goes right between the scale mail plates and hits like a spot right underneath. And this Duergar, actually, how do you want to do this? You got him 11, right?
11 points damage. Yes.
Yeah. He didn't even get to enlarge. How would you like to do this?
straight through the breastplate into the heart. He's just taking advantage, going right. Had enough of this.
And
Is that the one that failed Bane?
no?
Okay, good. I would hate to feel completely useless.
But to those that to Xu'xa and Caliban that can see this, like you see the arrow, like it's such a perfect shot. It seems to kind of somehow go past the armor as if it's not there, and the Duergar just falls onto the ground.
And oh, sorry. I'll wait through. And Ori goes, 1 down, 2 to go.
All right. I said they would. The other two are enlarging, but that takes their action.
Whoa.
Just double checking. Yep. Yep, that takes their action. So all they do is suddenly grow to full size, becoming visible again. And it's back to being Xu'xa's turn. You are invisible. They are now visible and large.
I would like to dash out of their immediate path, I guess, because I feel like I'm still quite close to them. And I'm going to blast the one that was closest to me. But I'm trying to move out of the way of this path. So.
Okay. So if you move, you're invisible. Okay. So you're invisible and he can't see you, but if you move past him, he will like sense you and he'll get to hit you at disadvantage if you move out of his range. That's called an opportunity attack. Okay? Just so you're aware, are you still okay with going ahead with that? He'll have a chance to kind of hit you as you run past him.
Okay. But he's not inside though. Aren't they at the doorway?
There. Sorry. Then I must have misunderstood. He's at the door. I thought you were gonna run past him out of the cabin.
No.
Okay. Sorry, I misunderstood. Where are you?
I'll stay in the cabin, but I won't be in the doorway.
Okay. Got it. So you're
that's
moving
what
to.
I was.
Got it. Sorry. Cool.
So I could move.
Yeah, right to the back of the cabin. That's fine. You can do that, and you'll be. You can fire from there. That fine? Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Please roll to hit.
And at disadvantage, right?
No. If you move to the back of the cabin, it's fine. You have enough distance.
Okay, so it's 23 to hit, and sorry, easy now. It's 12 hit points.
Okay, that's a good hit. So the Eldritch Blast flies out of your fingers and hits the now visible Duergar and gets him like right in the chest, and like he goes like as the air gets knocked out of his lungs, and he's pretty hurt. He's not looking good at all. But you become visible again because you cast a spell. It is now Rover's turn.
Nice.
Wonderful. Just gonna reach out with his hand and just go and have that thorn whip come out to the one that is on closest to me at the back.
Okay.
So that's me rolling to attack. That's going to be a 19 to hit.
That hits.
For 5 slashing damage, and I'm going to choose not to pull him towards me.
Very good. So the thorn whip dashes out and wraps around him, and kind of the thorns strike into his flesh through the armor, and he lets out a yelp of pain. And you've caused it's still looking fighting fit, but that it definitely took some damage there. Caliban.
The one right in front of me is looks rough, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna try finish him off. Run up to him, make a sword attack.
Very well. Roll to hit. You have.
Oh. Oh, do I?
What's the range of your? Actually, you'd have double advantage anyway. He's glowing with fairy fire, and Durbik, I think, gave you advantage with his ability.
Great.
Less than 5 feet of Durbik.
Oh, okay. Well, he's still glowing with fairy fire, so.
All right. Great, because that was okay. Great. Natural 16 for a total of shit. What's my attack modifier? 22.
That definitely hits.
All right. So D8. 6 points of damage total.
Oof. Caliban takes out his sword and strikes deep into the chest, like cracking into the clavicle of the Duergar, who's, he's quite big now, and it does not look good. But the guy is still standing, hatred burning in his eyes, even though he's at death's door.
And just to end my turn, I would like to try taunt both of them. DM's discretion on whether this works or not. And I'll just yell, "Your kind look like burnt loaves of sourdough!"
All right. Very well. And it's Akeem's turn.
You damn skip it is. So, I take on the one that Caliban has really weakened, because I'm going to finish him off. Might as well.
Finish him.
Thank you. I rush in there with Shocking Grasp, so I go directly up to it and cast Shocking Grasp.
Very well. Roll to hit your smelly spell attack.
Do something demeaning like slapping him on the butt with it.
Yep. Really? 5.
You rolled a 5 plus.
Rolled a 5.
Okay.
So, sorry, have they dropped invisibility? Sorry, I was out for a bit.
Well, yeah, they have to when they enlarge. So actually, you have
Yes,
advantage because
yeah,
he's glowing with
advantage.
fairy fire. So you can roll one more time and see if you get a higher roll.
Oh, okay. That's better. 15. That was what was supposed to have happened the first time.
So you got a 15 on the dice, yes?
Yeah.
So plus 6, that is 21. That definitely hits. So you reach out and you put your hands onto his armor, and you, like, blue arc lightning just shoots out from you and like courses through his veins. From the front, Xu'xa and Caliban, you guys see like electricity like going through his teeth and his eyes starting to smoke. Roll for damage.
Alright. Again, I'm rolling a d20 first, right?
No, for damage, it's a D8 for shocking grasp.
Ah.
If you have a look at your spells, it tells you under effect.
Right, a d8. The hell's a d8? They have goes up to 9.
A D8 looks like a.
Found it like a little diamond.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
3.
3. That's enough. How do you want to do this?
Oh, nice. Ace. Ooh, so many choices. So, I decide to. I put my hands together to start the electricity flowing, and then I push it around the body of the Duergar to electrify it to.
Okay. And yeah, he's just like, you can see him shaking, trying to resist, and just buckles onto his knees and just finally gives out and falls limp to the floor. His like smoke seeping from underneath his armor, and he's down.
I go. That is how we do it in Zamunda.
And it is Durbek's turn.
Well, I have a lot of targets to pick from here, and a lot of things to do to it with my axe. So I'm charging across the deck.
Ominous.
Just sweep the legs out from under this big, soon-to-be dead Duergar.
Very well.
And that is, I didn't roll quite as well this time. It's only a 23.
Roll to hit.
Only a 23.
23, that hits. Take a
I
huge.
have advantage though, right?
Yeah.
You do have advantage, so it
Yes,
might become a
23.
natural 20.
Yeah, 23.
Okay, so you take a huge slash with your axe, and it bites deep into his armor. How much damage?
9.
Okay, it definitely takes a hard hit, but like once again, it's still standing, looming over everyone within his giant kind of ogre size. He looks mad. It is Orio's turn.
Oh dear God, what a shame. I'm going to have to take Tabitha out and shoot again with advantage and sneak attack.
I don't think he's gonna make it.
Oh dear, I got a natural 20.
Very well. It definitely hits. Roll your damage.
So that means, do I double the sneak attack on a?
Yeah.
You do.
Oh dear.
Unless you roll ones, I think.
So that's going to be 14 points of damage straight, and then for the sneak attack, that's 15. So that's 29 points of damage.
How would you like to do this, sir?
I take the crossbow bolt and straight through between the eyes.
Very well. And this last one, in his throws, he was hoping to, avenge his brothers, but it just goes straight through, and like you see kind of the light go out of his eyes, and as he limps, sort of falls backwards, stumbles over the edge of the decking, and falls through the ice into the bay below and disappears under the water.
No, his armor was worth money.
And you guys are out of combat. Well
Are you
done.
gonna see?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I almost feel bad about that one.
A good plan and successfully executed.
What plan executed? Xu'xa went rogue. Where is Xu'xa?
No, not Caliban. Akeem, let her have this one.
You are crazy. I like your style. You're crazy.
No one said anything about what you do after you change form. It's just like, what? I'm supposed to just open the door and go, "Hi guys," in my voice.
See,
I knew there was
I don't know. I
Xu'xa.
wasn't sure.
Can we see Xu'xa at this point, or am I just like randomly talking to the
No, you can see her. She still looks like a Duergar unless she's dropped it.
I didn't drop it. No.
So you see, like a Duergar with Xu'xa's voice going, "I don't know what you guys wanted me to do."
That's good because if a Duergar suddenly appeared out of nowhere on the deck, Durbik would have a new target pretty quickly. So
See, I'm still looking at Xu'xa disapprovingly, like, you could have given us some warning. You couldn't do that.
Well, it worked. We won.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, we did. We did.
Right, I'm very cold. How's about we get back to town?
Let's investigate the little bodies, shall we, first?
Oh, yes, of course.
I dig through the two that are still on
I
the
peer
deck.
over the edge of the boat. Is that Duergar gone, like sunk to the bottom?
You can't see him. The water's dark. You'd have to swim underneath to find him.
I've gone down to join
Isn't
Nana. I'll start make my way down to join Nana down where she is guarding it.
She's standing over Dirth. He hasn't stirred. Sorry, Rover, you had a... Oh, I think Ben has been disconnected again. He had a question.
Oh, I tell Nana that she can head upstairs and I'll take over watching the one that's left.
Very well.
She might as well let the others know that I'm taking care of him.
Cool.
I go outside to get some fresh air, because it's getting hella stressful with all these battles.
I rolled an 18 on my investigation check on the bodies.
You find a total of, I think, 12 silver through their pockets, as well as a little piece of parchment that looks like it might be a map of Easthaven. It's got little scribblings over it, but it's very crudely drawn.
Do they also have Duergar armor and shit on them?
They're equipped by the same thing: scale mail and war picks.
I'm taking it.
how do the scribblings compare to the writing on the bigger map that we were looking at previously? Is it more detail? Is it?
It's
more
less detailed. It looks just like a rough drawn kind of sketch for reference. But roll an investigation check.
Natural one.
But anyone that wants to examine the map can roll an investigation check.
I shall have a little look. And that's going to be 16.
Okay. You gather that art was not the forte of whoever made this, but you can kind of recognize by the shape of the street layout, roughly, that it must be Easthaven, and there's a little X where the townhall is, little that has been added.
I see. Cunning Duergar trying to point out Easthaven's central locations. Terrorist map of some description.
All right, let's take the prisoner to the speaker for some rough frontier justice.
Okay. You guys want to take Dirth all the way to the town hall and sort of report back to the town speaker, yes?
To the captain of the guard and the town speaker, yes.
Perhaps we should truss him up like a parcel so we don't make a scene.
Good plan. Do we have some burlap or sacking that we can sort of?
Do they?
You can have a look downstairs in the main sort of hold.
Sure. Someone help me have a look, please.
I will.
Roll an investigation check.
Could we use some of the
Natural 20.
Sorry, Xu'xa?
Could we use some of the resources in the explorer's kit that we have?
You could probably use the rope. Caliban, you find some old sack of potatoes that the potatoes are gone, but like the burlap sack that they came in is there, so you could probably sort of rip it up and fashion sort of almost a little shroud for the guy and wrap it with the wrap.
We just stuff him in the sack?
It's not
He's
quite
a dwarf.
big
How
enough.
big could we be?
It's not gonna fit in a sack of potatoes.
Caliban still spends a good 5 minutes. Come on, get in there. Okay, fine, I give up. Let's do it your way.
Yeah.
Did
Fine.
the bonfire damage the ferry?
There's severe scorch marks right in front of the cabin, but it was pretty icy and it didn't last more than 6 seconds. So there's going to be a very confused Scython unless you guys explain to him what you did to his boat. But it's not structural damage.
Blame it on the Duergar.
We should take the map that they had in the cabin to show the speaker. That'll give her an idea of just how threatening this was.
Agreed.
Okay. So you got him wrapped up and you want to head off to the town hall, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you guys make your way to the town hall and you reach it. It's a large building and there's a large front entrance with double doors that lead inside. I'm assuming you walk in?
Yes, I will walk in with the sack off of my shoulder.
Very well. The door is open and you're met by a sort of torchlit chamber, and it's decorated with old paintings depicting life in Easthaven, including a large painting of the town itself on the north wall. Mounted on the south wall is a 5-foot-long stuffed knucklehead trout. Its wooden plaque bears an engraved copper plate that reads, in common, Big Knuck, caught by Easthaven fishers during the summer of 1479.
Wasn't there an identical thing in the other towns?
In the basically tavern, there was one that like that, but that one was animated by magic. When you got close to it, it started like saying stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm asking. Does this one look identical to the other one? Is it like a series of novelty?
You mean like
Yeah, there
Almighty?
you go. Almighty is the magical one. This
Almighty, okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were like all the same ones and people
No.
just buy them.
No.
Like actual singing trouts.
Yeah. You can see staircases leading up to an upper floor, as well on either side, 2 doors on this floor leading to other chambers. Would there be anyone in this front chamber? Sorry, no, just one door. There's a staircase leading upstairs, and there's a door beside it on the right-hand side, leading to further chambers beyond.
And what time of day is it again? Or night?
You guys went out. It was probably about midday, plus the fight with the Duergar. It's early afternoon.
There should be someone around.
Is it like a bell I can ring?
I'll say yes. Yeah, there is kind of... it's just easy. It's not described here, but yeah, there would be something in the front entrance. Just like a bell dangling off like a pole that you can kind of ring for attention.
Take a number.
I do that.
Ding, 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 ding. And you see from the door next to the staircase a young woman with sort of hair in a tight sort of brown bun come out and say, hello, might I be of assistance?
Good day, madam. We're here to see the speaker. It's urgent and it's a matter of town security.
Oh, and you are?
We are tier 4.
Right, and she counts you and goes, right.
I was outvoted during the name selection.
Very well.
Seems to be quite bitter about it. But anyway, is Captain Indra in the house as well?
You know Captain Indra. Very well, yes. She's currently talking to the town speaker in his office.
Oh, fabulous. We would like to speak to both of them, if that's possible. What is your name, good lady?
Prudence. I'm Prudence Tarkwald. Nice to meet you all.
Lovely to meet you too.
Pleasure is all mine.
And so she opens the door that she came out of and leads you through. You follow?
Yeah.
Cool. The room that you enter is a small administrative office. It's full of desks and filing cabinets, and a few overstuffed lounge chairs are set aside for meetings. She leads you through this chamber into another one beyond, and it opens up, and it's a large kind of hall. You gather this is kind of the biggest room in the building, and the low-burning lanterns cast a gentle glow upon a tall black object in the center of this room. Although one could easily mistake it for a statue, this object is actually a figurehead of a ship, and is carved in the likeness of a winged demon. The demon-shaped figurehead stands 8 feet tall. Shards of wood jut out of the demon's back at the point where the figurehead once attached to the hull of a ship. And give me a second.
Is it a kind of demon I recognize?
Roll a history check, rather. And anyone that wants to try to figure out what it is can roll a history check.
Durbik is going to nudge Oreo and say, I think we better get our to-do list out.
Oh, no.
Anyone that grew
I'm
up...
asking you right now.
Anyone that
17.
grew up in Icewind Dale can roll with advantage.
17.
Not good.
Anyone not native to Icewind Dale, you said?
No, anyone native to Icewind Dale can roll with advantage.
Was it
Okay.
history?
History check.
13.
Okay. Anyone get 20 or above on a history check?
Nope.
You guys have no idea what this is.
Oh, shit.
I'll show you a picture of it, though. I can do that if I can find my pictures. Number
Come on,
4.
lose sleep over this.
Hold on, I have to change the camera, and then I really need an assistant.
Hold on, that Duergar's dead. Is that not doing
He
still-
froze in that position.
There we go. Oh, damn it! I gave away the next step.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
You
Oh.
guys also see, tied to the figurehead, what appears to be a woman. What do you
I
do?
thought that was a corset. I thought that was just a sexy leg.
Oh, no.
Prudence, seemingly, is not even noticing this kind of as if it's an everyday thing, and she's walking you past where the town's sort of the office is.
Prudence, could you? What is the figurehead of the boat ship? That was to do with that.
Oh,
I also have a question.
Sure. I mean, that some adventurers fished that out of the lake, Lake Dinishir, a few months ago. They were hoping for a reward, but they didn't really get much much out of it. The speaker, Wayland, didn't really have a use for it, so it's just been sitting there. I think he suspects that it might have something wrong with it. By the way, you guys recognize at this point that it's made out of Chardolin.
Oh.
Wait, what is the which? Sorry,
This
what is?
the figurehead, this giant statue, is made out of the black ice stuff that you guys have been learning about.
And does
If
that
I
appear to
pop-
be a living person tied to it?
I'm sorry, I don't
yeah.
understand what you mean. What person?
Insight check.
Roll an insight check.
I would like to do the same.
Damn it!
We haven't had a
9.
defense today. What's going on?
All I'm hearing is insight checks, so just you guys, I will also roll one. I don't know what for.
7.
Okay. I mean, she seems truthful. She's looking around like when you said the woman, and she doesn't seem to see it.
Shit.
The office is this way. If you want to talk to the town speaker, and she starts to kind of move in
Divine
that direction.
sense.
Divine sense. Very
Sorry,
well.
My insight was dirty 20 as well.
Dirty 20? Okay, so yeah, she seemed very honest. She doesn't see this figure.
Okay, that's worse. I thought they were doing some weird villagey ignoring the person thing.
No.
But
Caliban, you suspicious of the circumstances,
Suddenly we wandered into Midsummer.
you channel the power.
I'm starting to go closer.
You
I want to hear. I want to hear because I think devices is about to work.
So as Xu'xa is starting to approach the figure, Caliban channels his divine sort of powers, and you notice that the Chardolin figure is definitely desecrated. It is a desecrated object, and that the figure chained to it is undead.
I grab Xu'xa by the shoulder.
Okay. At this point, as you're standing around waiting, the woman with her hair draping, she looks, by the way, she looks dripping wet now that you're looking at her more closely.
Even better.
As if she drowned. And you start to hear a faint wailing and sobbing.
I will approach the figure.
Okay. How close?
I'll get to 10 feet, if I can.
1 second. Okay.
And I will say, looks human, right? Can I see her ears or anything like that?
She seems human to you.
Okay, then I will say, in common.
Okay.
Why do you weep, fair maiden?
At this, her head snaps up and she looks straight at you. I need you to roll. What is it? It is.
Oh no, here goes Caliban again.
And you see through the hair now, as she you guys all see this. She whips her head up, and her head pokes through the hair, and underneath is basically just a skull.
Oh dear.
Caliban, I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw. And anyone that was looking at her directly must also roll one.
15?
Okay.
19! 19!
Oops.
A +1 to 20, a dirty 20.
11.
I know what that means now.
Okay. 12? Very well. And Durbik?
12.
19.
Okay. So, Durbik, Oreo, and Xu'xa, you're filled with dread, and fear takes a hold of you as the nature of death and mortality and just the terrifying visage of this otherworldly ghost scares you. And I need you all to roll initiative.
I knew it!
Sorry, I think Bill has something to say.
Damn it.
Oh no, I don't. I thought I did, but I don't.
Do I have a fighting the lady?
Sorry, me too? I'm frightened?
No, if you rolled more than 13, you're fine.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
21.
Okay, so 1 second. I need to... Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
21 for Caliban, was it?
Yep.
And who was the other one that I heard?
Dirty 20 here.
Dirty 20.
For Hakeem.
7.
7 for Durbik. Xu'xa?
16.
11 for Oreo.
Okay. And Rover?
10 for Rover. I don't know. 10.
Okay, start. So Caliban, it is your turn.
you
The
guys
ropes
can do-
melt away from this figure, and it's starting to reach for you.
I sort of shake myself after shaking the fear off, and I look at her and say, "Was that your best shot? Let me show you mine." And I will do the exact same thing she did back at her, and I will channel divinity and use Abjure Enemy. She needs to make a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage because she's undead.
Okay. I'm guessing a 9 fails. Oh wait,
A
sorry.
9 fail.
Yeah.
She is frightened of me.
Very well. You guys see the weirdest thing. This like ghost suddenly recoil in fear and almost start to step backwards, but its back is against the demonic figurehead and it can't go anywhere.
Oh yeah, and her speed is reduced to 0.
Okay.
And she can't benefit from bonuses to speed.
Very well. Is that your action?
Yes, that is my action.
Akeem, it is your turn.
I cast Burning Hands at 2nd level.
Not inside, not inside, not inside!
Yeah,
Too late.
I
It's
do it.
done.
Sorry, bro.
All right.
I had to do
So you
that.
step to the side to avoid Caliban and you just put your hands forth and just let it rip. Flames writhe you and shoot forward like a flamethrower. I need to roll a dexterity saving throw, can I? Okay. It is plus...
Would she be at disadvantage because I'm in her line of sight? Is that how fear works? I forget.
Don't think so.
If it doesn't say it on the channel
Yeah.
identity, it's not done.
All right.
Well,
So
it says
I
she's
can
frightened,
also see-
so...
I can also see Caliban saying, "Is that how fear works?" I forget. It seems.
so she fails. She fails her
Sorry, I
saving
got kicked
throw.
out. What was the saving throw?
I had to roll it, and she failed. So she takes she takes the damage. Roll your dice for Burning Hands at 2nd level. 4d6.
That's 4d6s. That's a lot of dice.
Okay, no disadvantage on saving throws, but ability checks and attack rolls while the Sword of the Sphere is within line of sight.
So, I have 16.
16 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. The flames just kind of shoot and start to kind of burn because it's magical. It's magical fire, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And it starts to kind of burn away at the clothes, even though this is an incorporeal being. It seems to kind of be scorching her due to the magical nature of the fire. It is now Xu'xa's turn. You are afraid and you can't move closer to her, but you can still hit her if you want with your Eldritch Blast, or you can do something else.
So I can't move.
You can't move closer to her, but you can move away from her.
And she will have disadvantage on the attack as well. Just FYI. As long as you're looking at her.
Can I see? Have I noticed whether anybody has noticed this? What's happening in the middle of the battle?
So far, it's only been
Is
a
anybody is anybody witnessing this, or is it just us?
Prudence
this
is
lady
looking scared
No.
and is kind of like starting to move to like hide and cower. At this point, you gather that she can see the ghost finally, like she can see it now. But it's only been a few seconds. No one's come rushing yet. Although you roll a perception check.
Yeah, no, I got 6.
You hear some noises, but you're not sure where they're coming from. But from other rooms, you can hear some noise.
What is she tied up with? She's tied up with some kind of.
She was tied up with sort of
I know what it is.
rope.
It'd have to be something. Would it need to be something special? Or would it
Actually,
be made of?
you would recognize from your childhood that this is naval rope. But it's no longer there. It melted away as she attacked it. It disappeared into like nothingness.
So she's completely unattached to the.
Yeah.
To the,
And she was going to come rushing towards Caliban, but Caliban made her afraid of him, so she's now recoiling from him.
Well, I'm going to blast her then.
Alright, roll at disadvantage. Because you're afraid.
So it's 16.
16 hits. Even though you're afraid, you like try to bear through it and fire your Eldritch Blast at her, and it hits her square in the face. Roll for damage.
9.
9.
9 points.
The skull seems to almost split apart and then kind of reforms out of kind of spectralness. And it is now Orio's turn.
Right. I shout out, Captain Indra! Captain Indra! And then I terrifyingly point Tabitha and fire at the creature.
I need to remember that Tabitha is not your fox, because I keep picturing, like, some sort of fox that, like, I don't know, you, like, pull the tail and it shoots something out of its mouth.
Lock is the fox. Tabitha's the crossbow. Bessie is the large cookery. With disadvantage, I get a 16.
16 hits. Your bolt flies and like almost seems to go through the ghost, but it does seem to cause some damage. Less than you thought it would. It is in melee with Caliban, so I would say you get sneak attack.
Okay, so I get it's 8 points of, and then 8 and 6. So that's 14 points of damage.
Yeah, so it seems to do a lot less damage than you thought it would with your precision hitting, but it does cause some. And it's now Rover's turn.
Cool. So just because I kept disconnecting, so basically there was a lady on a statue as in the picture, and she suddenly come to life as Caliban walked up to her.
Yeah, it's a ghost. Yep, she's a ghost and she's terrified some of you, but not all of you.
Cool. Yeah, let's cook this ghost. Grab a staff, and a little bonfire appears at her feet.
Okay. Okay. Dexterity saving throw, right?
14.
She fails.
Yep, 14.
Roll your damage.
8 fire damage.
Okay. Okay, so you guys see Rover dip his staff into the ground and a magical bonfire appears underneath the ghost. And once again, the flames, because of their magical nature, seem to burn away at her. And she's not looking good. Like, it's the actual spectral sort of spectre is kind of fading in and out of existence at this point. It is now the ghost's turn. It seems to kind of fade even more into nothingness, and it kind of almost is invisible, but not quite. It's still there, but it's kind of it seemed to just kind of fade away. Durbik, it's your turn.
I can't charge, but I am really angry at something that makes me frightened. And so I am going to rage and throw a hand axe.
Sorry, did she end her turn in the bonfire, Dre? Sorry.
She did, because she can't move.
Cool, then she needs to make it, then she takes damage again.
Yeah,
she's making her dexterity saving throw.
Sure, but her fading was entering the border ethereal.
Oh, no, that's fine. That's all I was... Okay,
So do I attack with disadvantage, Dre?
You would, because you're afraid.
Oh, man, I rolled a natural 20 and a 6. So the 6 is actually modifies to a 12.
Okay. And what, you were throwing your hand axe?
Yes.
So you guys see the hand axe kind of fly through and hit, like, about to hit the ghost right in the head. But actually, this time it just goes through. And it hits and it implants itself into the figurehead behind her. It is now Caliban's turn.
So I've seen this happen, alright? I've seen the axe go through.
On her turn, can she roll to not be afraid, or?
I don't think so. Let me double check.
Similar question for us, Dre.
Nope.
On our turn, do we get to roll to that?
Yes, you do.
On a failure, the creature is frightened and the speed reduces to 0 for 1 minute, or until it takes any damage. Sorry.
Okay. So, okay.
Has she taken damage?
Yeah, she
yet?
does,
Yeah.
so she can move.
Okay, sorry. Not
Sorry.
bad.
All right. In which case, I'm gonna say this instead, because she was trying to run away. I thought she couldn't because she was afraid, but she fades away, and she sort of bolts at full speed and kind of disappears into nothingness, and she's gone, and you guys are out of combat. 1 second.
That's unseemly behavior, even for a ghost.
At this point, Captain Imdra and a man run from a door sort of behind you, and 4 guards reach you from underneath a stairwell, and you guys sort of are kind of met by strange looks as a very scared Prudence is kind of shaking and pointing at the Chardolin figurehead. And the guards are sort of reaching for their weapons, but Indra like puts up her hand and says, "Halt! Explain yourselves, Tier 4. What is going on?"
Explain yourself. What was this doing here? What was this woman doing here? What was this ghost doing here? And why is she in the middle of the town hall? Explain yourself. I'd be annoyed.
What she said.
What woman? What woman are you speaking of? And she looks around and she looks at Prudence. She's going, "Ghost."
Did no one else see the thing that we all fought?
Like they came in too late. Actually, let me just 1 second. Okay. And the Captain Indra doesn't know what you're speaking about, but the guy behind her's like pipes up and says, "I believe I can explain. I think I saw what happened there. I think they're telling the truth, Indra. I definitely saw a spectre leave this hall."
Can I insight check whether he actually did?
Sure.
13?
Seems to be telling the truth.
Okay.
I don't know why there would be a ghost here. We've never seen one. You guys seem to be under the impression that we're holding one as a pet or something, I gather. But
She was tied to the figurehead
that is
when we got here.
very unusual indeed.
Yes.
What did she look like?
She was
White.
Sorry,
Go
go on.
ahead.
Go on, Caliban. Go on.
No, after you.
Yes, she was a female. We couldn't really make out what race she was because her face had melted away into a skull, and she had long white hair, and she was moaning and crying. Apart from that, I was terrified. So I'm I don't know. Caliban, did you get a better look when you spied
She
her?
was human from what I could tell. Was her hair white or like pale blonde or?
White, but you don't know if that was... It kind of looked like a drowned corpse that had been left in the water.
Yeah.
So you don't know if her hair used to be white or not.
She looked like a drowned corpse that had been left in the water.
Ah. Perhaps it was the White Lady. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the stories of the ghost. It is said that she's only ever visible to those that have contacted her in some form, but I mean... Yeah, I'm guessing you guys didn't do anything like that, did you?
Oh, you mean the lady that the halfling bard tries to contact?
We
Yes.
didn't contact her. As in, us didn't contact her. We might have been in the room at the time.
But you were part of the seance, and I'm guessing it was successful?
Apparently.
Then that'll be it, I'm afraid.
I tap Caliban on the shoulder, just kind of pull him aside to be like, "Didn't the witch say something about a white woman?"
Yes, we have her treasure.
Yes.
And all we did this time was say hi to her, and I'm saying this to everybody, and she just jumped out and attacked us. And I say loudly, "So fuck her!"
Captain Indra at this point talks to the guards and says, Edwulf, Adam, damn it, Steve, at ease. Go back to the cells. And please, Tier 4, we were just speaking about you. This is...
Calvin, did you detect anything else about this? The statue, the masthead here, figurehead.
Oh yeah, that's all kinds of fucked up demonic magic around it.
And at this, Wayland, Daneth looks at Indra and says, "I told you, that thing needs to go. It cannot stay here. We don't know where to put it. It's not safe."
It's Shandarin. Shandarin is always dead.
It sounds like we have a lot to talk about. Let's sit down for this. You're gonna want to sit down for this. And I pick up the sack again that I would have dropped for the fight.
Sure. We were just speaking about you, actually. Please do come through.
You know what? Actually, screw dropping it in fights from now on. New great club.
Okay. He takes you through... One second. Just double check. Yep, he takes you through a door on the far sort of left of this chamber that you're in, and takes you into his office. You can see tapestries painted landscapes decorating this room, in the middle of which is a large table surrounded by high-backed wooden chairs. And he sits down at the head of the table, and Indra sits down to his left, and he gestures for you all to take seats.
I will sit the sack down into the chair.
Okay.
And I say to them, brace yourselves. I will pull the sack off.
Like, my God, like you have a body in there.
He's alive, relax. Hakim, why don't you tell them what he told you?
So our little friend here said that...
He's still unconscious, right?
Yeah, don't worry about him.
Okay.
Our little friend here said that there was an attack being planned, and that they were going to use this shiny thing that you seem to be using here as well, as part of their plan to do a little bit of troublesome things.
And you've taken care of this? The captain has told me you guys had a lead that they would be on the ferry. Is this the Duergar?
Don't worry about them. Yes, we have taken care of.
They're dead.
The other ones that would
This is the
have
leader.
caused you harm, but this one is one that we head on to because he knew some things that would be useful to you.
He's also a high-value prisoner.
That too.
There are more.
He is the eldest son of the Zardaloks, the ruling family of the Duergar in this area. They have a fortress up in the mountains, and their plan is a terrorist attack across all of Icewind Dale. And they believe that they want to use some kind of shadowling dragon that they are developing.
A dragon? They planning to attack by dragon?
A construct, perhaps.
A
More
construct.
than a dragon, from what we could gather.
This is most
At this point,
concerning.
whoever would get at the map and where he'd marked it on, be like, "It's over here."
By the way, do we
Something like
recognize the
this is,
material that the thing is made out of?
Yeah, it's
We know it, right? Yeah.
So this is Daneth Wayland, by the way.
Who's that?
That's the town speaker you're speaking to.
Okay.
The weirdo.
He looks like every bad guy in every Scandinavian crime drama. ever
What
made.
accent is he gonna have? This is what we're talking about before y'all join soon. He's joking.
Sorry, I lost my place there. So Captain Imdra kind of goes, "This is even worse than I feared." Talking to the town speaker. We must do something about this. What did you find out? When are they attacking?
They said it would be soon.
Currently, they're doing reconnaissance, I believe, in all of the key villages. So this was a reconnaissance party to highlight the key areas. They had already marked a map with a town hall in it.
Something tells me the soon is very soon.
Reconnaissance and gathering more of the Chardolin.
Yeah.
And we've encountered several Duergar parties that are gathering Chardolin for this undertaking.
Tell us, do you have more of this Shadowlin that you have built this thing from?
We did
I
not.
whisper to Hakim, they didn't build it.
And she says the same. This was not built by us. It was, and let me tell you, it is a figurehead depicting Ertu, a Baelor demon that terrorized Icewind Dale 100 years ago. It is a relic that was at the bottom of the lake. It was fished out by some adventurers that thought we could have a use for it, but
Please tell me the demon was destroyed, not merely locked away.
it was a long time ago. As far as we know, it was banished.
Okay.
Sorry. So
What
we
could they
believe
possibly-
we learned from them.
Sorry?
Sorry. I was going to say, we learned from them that they're waiting until they finish building this Shandaran dragon construct thing till their attack, and they are nearly done.
The town speaker looks at Imdra like, is there such a thing possible? And she says, I wouldn't know. We should talk to. We can probably talk to Salazar, ask him about such magics, but they might be beyond his understanding.
Either way, they seem to believe it is, and that makes them dangerous.
Most of
It's
the
not a
Charlotte
belief.
fragments we've seen are small. That mass figurehead would be a huge resource.
A veritable gold mine for them, yes.
Xu'xa, you got cut off. I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry.
It's not a matter of whether it's possible. They've done it. It's done. It's done. They are upon completing a second dragon, and they already have another one. They already have a red one. It's not.
No.
It's not. I saw
Right.
enter his mind. So I saw him. I saw a red dragon. You being used to help forge a Shardalin dragon. So they've done it. It's not a matter of is it possible, or can that happen? It's happened. They're ready.
We must prepare for this.
Sorry. Just because if I remember my notes about the memories and things was that it was a heart of a red dragon that was used powering the heat of the forge to build the Shandaran dragon.
Yes,
And I
Just
thought
to
it was an
correct-
actual dragon.
it was the heart, but that's okay. It's the sentence
Sorry,
still
I
works.
did want to make sure.
Sure.
I wanted to make sure it was it's fine if that's what you want to say. Yeah.
The important thing, like, she reacts to the fact that you say that you've seen into his mind and that you saw this dragon. And they look extremely concerned and worried. Says we must prepare the town defenses. We must alert the remainder of the town speakers in all of 10 towns. This attack could come anytime.
I point to the prisoner. If he is who he says he is, and they aren't lying about such a war machine, he may be your only bargaining chip if the worst were to happen. He has psychic abilities, but they seem to be stopped by blinding him. So, keep his eyes covered, but it may be worth keeping him alive. However, this is the last I will say on the matter. If my companions and yourself wish to do away with him entirely, that is.
Do you think he has any other useful information to impart? Because it would be quite a risk to keep him alive. I fear that the return would be not as good as eliminating such a clear and present danger. But if you think he's got more information...
I don't know that he's got more information.
I just want to say for the record, I wanted to kill him a while back, but if you wish to do what you want with him, I'm tired of having him be carried, so I'm happy either way.
The pros and cons of it are the fact that he is the eldest son of the leader of this tribe, so he might be a bargaining chip, as Caliban had said. The other side is he is a threat and a danger, and justice must be seen to be done as much as anything else.
Yes,
I don't want to cause
Yes.
widespread panic. So for now, we will keep this between just us, if you guys agree, because I think the last thing we need in these times is for people to be afraid of an imminent attack without any option to leave the Vale.
Of course.
Do not overestimate your ability to negotiate with Duergar, even with this sort of hostage. They're fanatics bent on destroying life above ground. I concur strongly with your opinion that the sooner dispatched, the better.
Maybe a small final interrogation by yourselves might help.
And he looks pensive because I need some time to think about this. Imdra, go fetch the guard and put him in one of the cells. Make sure he's bound, gagged, and blindfolded. and warn the guards to not approach the cell under any circumstance.
I say very, very sternly, these buggers are very tricksy. Don't take your eyes off them. Or him.
Oh yeah, he can shrink as
I was
well,
about to-
so...
yeah. I was going to tell them about Duergar that we've seen. Invisible, big, small.
Maybe
all
keep a
sizes.
cat in the room or something.
I look at Caliban to go, that's not a bad idea.
And so he adds to Indra, make sure that the cell has no small gaps, and use the one with the steel door. And she gets up, and you see her grab Dearth and put him with quite ease over her shoulder and walk out of the room.
Caliban is aroused again.
I tap a Keem on the shoulder and go, date. We have to arrange a date.
Divine sense. I'm kidding. I look at Oreo to be like,
I turn to the others and I say, I don't deny that statue is dangerous, but it could also be a way inside the fortress.
You propose to treat with these people and give them a resource they're looking for. I think that's kind of crazy.
I know that's crazy, and it's only a wild suggestion, but in a kind of Trojan horse maneuver, if we could somehow hide extra manpower inside the cart that we transport this on, disguise ourselves even. If everyone thinks it's a stupid idea, then I'll say no more on it. I'm just wondering if it could be
I think that's a crazy idea
potentially
that I wouldn't
opportunity.
recommend. And he points to your map and says, here, getting a cart is out of the question. You'll be lucky to get there by foot. That's deep into the mountains. And to treat with Duergar, I'm afraid I'm going to have to agree with your friend there. And he looks at you and says, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Durbik. I think that's crazy talk. These people cannot be reasoned with. And from what I gather, you, my dear, sorry, your name.
Caliban.
He was looking at Xu'xa.
Sorry. Misunderstood.
I
Ignore
love
me.
the idea of that actually happening.
Just, my dear. Yeah, Caliban, yes.
You said you saw into his mind and you saw this dragon being constructed.
Yes. I don't think you're equipped to deal with it. I don't think any of you are equipped to deal with this war. And I really wish that there was some way we could feel like we had allies, because of course we're stuck here too. And I feel like we're stuck here with less and fewer allies that can actually do anything about this.
Based on what you have told me,
I've just walked into your town hall and there's a ghost attached to a massive structure of very dangerous material that we've had to kill a number of monsters over, and now we're sitting here discussing imminent war as if it's just a casual, it's.
Well,
it's
you are right, but I had nowhere to put that figurehead. I was afraid that it might be possessed, and I didn't know what to do with it. What would you have done?
Dump it into the lake again?
So that it can affect people, and so that it might be found by other people. I didn't have the resources, and I wasn't sure what to do.
There's far fewer things that could reach it at the bottom of a lake than could reach it inside this hall. So if your goal was to keep it out of people's hands...
I think, what were you able to learn anything from the adventurers who dug it up for you? What did they think?
They thought it might be valuable. They were looking for a payday, but as you've seen, we've had some things to worry about and try to keep our resources as much as possible to feed our people. And so I didn't really have something to give them for giving me something of dubious value, of which I wasn't sure. So they were kind of disappointed when I gave them only a small recompense. They thought it was something more interesting than I thought it was, at least in the sense that they meant.
What do we know about Chardolin? Any of us? I gestured to the group.
Well, it took only one shard of it to turn what was his name at the fort. It made him, join the cult.
War.
I'm only saying this because I don't know the first thing about Arcanum in general, but could it be made, I don't know, to explode?
Pardon me, I think that if you're not sure, this is probably beyond you at the present time.
Beyond me, yes, that's why I'm asking around.
I tend to think of any problem like this can be solved with an axe, but I wonder, Calvin, you said it's a desecrated item with lots of evil vibe. Is there something we can do to remove that so that it's at least it's only the Chardelin and not the shape and the enchantment and the desecration left?
If there is, then it's probably beyond my capabilities. I turn to the speaker. Who's the most powerful cleric in all of 10 towns?
If you pardon me, I will handle that. I will say I'm going to convene a meeting of all the town speakers and head to Bryn Shander to inform them about this.
I think you'd be best to do that very, very carefully. I can't think of a better opportunity to get rid of all of you at one time than meeting together at the same time.
But we must prepare our defenses. We must have everybody ready for this attack. If you say it's forthcoming soon, to not warn them would be irresponsible, and we must discuss.
Warn them. I'm just saying maybe not meet all at the same place at the same time.
Very well. I shall take that advice into consideration. Can I count on you to be available? And if I have further questions, or if there's anything that we can give you, you seem to be very capable people. If there was something that you could do to help stop this, can I count on you?
Yes, absolutely. But I have just two small further points. While you have been discussing, I was thinking we could take the Chardelin statue of Ertu, put it in the Cauldron Caves, and basically seal a cave, because there was a number of caves in there. We could sort of use some magic and explosives and seal the cave so people couldn't get in there very easily. At least it was trapped in there. If we can't destroy it, then we can at least make it difficult for people to get to. And secondly, perhaps to following Xu'xa's wise comment, perhaps we could provide some kind of security for the leaders of the 10 towns, and we could just add to our to-do list again, and be present for the conversation and maybe able to offer some wisdom.
Very well. That sounds. I mean, the only point I would say about moving it is that it took quite a lot of effort to get here. It weighs about 1,000 pounds. It would be quite an effort. You'd need a lot of help to get it done, and I'm afraid of anyone coming into contact with it.
I had to question why you're actually not destroying it.
We weren't sure if that was wise. We could try. We could certainly try. If you say it's as dangerous as it is and you confirm my suspicions, we could certainly try to destroy it. But then there'll be more pieces. Would the evil be destroyed if the object's destroyed, or would we just have made more bits of evil stuff?
Made it more accessible.
I tend to think it is, for now, it is best to stay where it is. There is old saying, keep friends close, enemies closer. If we lock it up in cave somewhere, we don't know if someone has taken it. At least if you're going to take it from town hall, you're going to know about it.
There is that.
At this point, Captain Indra comes back and sits down and rejoins the conversation and says, we should send our fastest messenger to Bryn Shander and to all the other towns and inform them. We must speak. The problem here, and he looks at you, is how do we convey this much information quickly? I mean, we could write a letter, but to convey the urgency and importance of this...
Rover, what's the fastest thing you can turn into?
Would be wolf. Well, depends. If I'm going through water, I can't fly it.
A hare, maybe? Hares are pretty fast.
Wolf is faster. Dire wolf is faster.
And he interrupts. As much as I appreciate the gesture, the other town speakers will want to hear from me.
Yes.
Having a random person that they are not aware of turn up and talk to them about a threat, it'll take convincing. It's not going to be the same thing. Don't worry. I will handle the town speakers. If there's anything I need to do in that regards that requires your assistance, as you've kindly offered, I will ask you. But for the time being, I think we need to prepare our defenses and try to find out if we can have a more definite date of when this might be happening.
Do you think you can put aside your petty squabbles amongst your respective towns enough to work together on this effort?
And he looks like not hurt by that, but you can tell that the truth of those words stings. And he says, I can only hope to try. I know I can rely on Duvessa from Brinshander. The others, the rivalries between their towns can be a hindrance to banding together, but if I can convince them that this threat is real, I think I can. I think they'll put aside their squabbles until the threat is done.
Can I do a history check to see if I remember more about the story of Ertu and the, Treshnaborn and all that other stuff?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going. Zach knows exactly what's going on, but Aria has no idea.
That's a 19 on the history check.
So I see. I haven't read the books, so you can tell.
Basically, what I'm trying to remember, all I want to do is be like, because in the books, all the towns band together.
Yeah.
So basically, all I wanted to do was to see if I would know that detail and be like, well, the towns have joined together before. It wasn't easy, and it was under overwhelming odds. And you even got outside help from rugged barbarian tribes. If the threat that big. I mean, yes, it's not easy, but yeah. It has happened before. It might happen again.
Very well. Anything I can offer you, we don't have much, as you know, but if there's something I can offer you that I can give you, I know you guys wanted to access the library for some reason. You're free to do so. Prudence will help you with any queries you have there, as well as through our town records if you think it'll help in any way. And
what's your armory look like?
We have some basic equipment for all our town guards, spears, swords, chainmail, that sort of thing.
Nothing that would be more effective than what I'm wearing, then.
No, you seem to be equipped. And kind of looks at you over and says, you're from Targos town guard. We have very similar equipment to you guys. Interesting to come so far. Well, good to know that Captain Scath is sending people to help.
Could you help us acquire
Not exactly, but
a dog team for our sled? Not as a gift, but just as help us find someone trustworthy and negotiate a good deal.
Yes, we can certainly do so. And she looks at Imdra. Captain Imdra here can probably get you. We could call in a favor. I might be able to get you dogs as a loan. I don't know if I'd be able to get you a sled, but I could give you a little bit of money towards feeding them, but that'd be your quarry to look after.
What did we decide last time when we were speaking about this? Do we need 2 sleds, or can we get by on one?
Depends what you want to carry. Like, 1 sled is not enough for every one of you. 2 sleds would be. If you just carry.
We have 1 sled that belongs to us?
Yes, in Targos.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I will have to start writing letters to all the town speakers immediately. I will leave you in the capable hands of Captain Imdra. If there's anything else, please don't hesitate to come to the town hall and speak to me. And he gets up and heads out of the room, up, and sort of leaves the door. Well, I must thank you once again for helping the town out. This is more than I thought was going on. It is very worrying. And she kind of looks over to you guys and says, I think this will be better in your hands. And she hands you over the spell scroll of Fireball. That was one of the things that you guys potentially could have gotten for the last task you did for her. And she just hands it over and gives it to you, Xu'xa.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
This isn't gonna be enough, but okay, sure.
I'm eyeing up that spell really hard. Like,
Oh, okay. And then I catch your eye, and I'm like, oh, okay.
you can like it or you
I will shortly be heading to speak to the town militia and get them as prepared as I possibly can for this, and we will try to interrogate the prisoner further. Though I think a quick execution is probably in our best interest.
We agree and are happy to help out if that would be useful.
Very well. Thanks again. And is there any before I leave? Is there anything I can do for you? Anything else I can do for you?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Very well.
Wouldn't turn down sensible accommodations, at least for the night. Nothing lavish, just a bed to rest our heads. I'm beat.
Okay. 1 second.
I could also rest as well.
We should talk a little first, though.
So just checking. There's an event room upstairs that is not being used at the moment. You're welcome to sleep there. It's not particularly comfortable in terms of bedding, but it's definitely a spare room we can have. Other than that,
It's inside. That's more than enough. I appreciate it.
I could probably get you a discount at the White Lady Inn.
Oh, I turn to the others. What do you guys think?
Is there beer here?
I'm afraid
Holding
not.
his tent
You'd have to go to the inn or to the tavern to get some beer.
We'll make a beer run if it comes to it, but
I suggest the White Lady Inn is probably a little bit more comfortable.
As long as it's a white lady inn and not the white woman inn, that's fine.
Very well.
I am ready for sleep. I don't care where I'm ready to sleep.
Very well. I shall send word to Bartaban to prepare some rooms for you, probably at half price.
thank you very much.
It's very kind. Very kind.
And she takes her leave of you. It says, "You're welcome to stay here to recoup, or rest if you need to. I'll be heading off, but you can see your way out. And if you need the library, please talk to Prudence." And she leaves.
I give a curt nod. As she leaves, I turn to the others. If she's gone,
Yeah.
I turn to the others and say, I don't know that it's a fight we can win if they end up finishing this thing. Perhaps our best chance is to play the role of saboteurs. A stealth mission, if you will. Now, I'm not going to pretend I'm any kind of specialist at that, but I am genuinely terrified of what happens if they get this thing up and running. But I have seen the most monumental of engineering tasks fail. Back in Waterdeep, whole structures come toppling down due to incompetence in exactly the right place.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say let's plan for let's hope for the best and plan for the worst.
Well, not
If
to
that's the case, then maybe we should leave.
not to
Has
be a
anyone
party
wondered
pooper.
about the fact that we're in this place with very few allies, no unity between the ones that could be our allies, and sort of unsure as to what we're really dealing with as well, a little.
But also, we can have a plan. But sometimes plans go out the window, like we experienced earlier. So I say we wing it and we see how things go.
And also, I not run away. This is my home.
Yeah.
And also, not everybody is from here. But if 10 towns falls, eventually, that could be trouble for Goliath tribes.
I have grown fond of this place. I am with you, Rover.
I just look at Hakeem. What do I say?
I look around like, what?
But these are
Nothing.
actually other things.
The people
Nothing at
are
all.
dead.
Allies we could get them from Thunlaka Laka tribe, but maybe not Sky Clan. They're dishonorable pigs.
I'm not one to run away from a fight, so
Xu'xa, could you please roll an intelligence check?
While she's doing that, I'll say, Oreo, how comfortable are you navigating enemy territory
Just as
with
a
your
side,
subterfuge?
just as a side note, not even in game. Could you imagine if you just did that to a normal person? Could you just do an intelligence check? Because
Sorry, including your bonus is 9?
Yep.
Okay, never mind then.
Definitely like on a significant other or partner. I think you need to roll an insight.
I'm just going out for a beer with the boys. Inside check.
Caliban, I'm reasonably stealthy. I'm not very good at the tracking and stuff like that. It's not my area of expertise, but I'm pretty good at the hunting stuff down, and I can certainly steal into places.
You guys are my party, and I trust you guys for better or for worse. So, if people don't think it's a good idea, then I will say no more on the subject. The will of the party comes first, but I think it's worth seriously considering.
Well,
The approach of the saboteur.
yes, I think it's actually a very good idea. I think let's looking at our to-do list. Hang on, I've just checked my notes. We have
I'm just imagining him like roll like with the whole list that just rolls down, hits the floor. And keeps rolling.
Yes. Well, we don't have that much left actually. We seem to have got like something in Tourmaline, something in Goodmead, and then top of the list is the Sunblight issue in the Duergar, I think. I don't know if anyone else has got anything else on the to-do list.
What happened with the creepy castle with the tieflings and the cult type people and the guy who lost his mind and the red wedding we thought we were going to?
We were made very uncomfortable, but I think that's as much as we actually know.
I think
So,
what
so,
we
so
decided
there was a townsperson, Oreo, who was seemed to have been brainwashed away from his family and taken under possibly false pretense to this keep. And we did have a very creepy evening there. I think there's some loose ends there we need to tidy up. The druid, it's not Ravenna, it's Ravison. We need to tie up that loose end as well.
you muted Hakeem.
Yeah, can't hear
I
you.
hear you.
Can't hear you.
Also,
That time.
sorry, I was
truly
talking to
muted.
myself. I was just so in the moment. Ravison, we have forgotten about her. She is going to get mad and get angry if we don't do something. So we need to tie that up as Durbin has said. So
We have a chance. We have a chance to avert some unpleasantness. Yeah.
Disaster.
So, Bill, I don't think you were there for the rest of that session, but it was at that castle that we met Oreo.
Ah.
So he's actually, yeah.
And he
Well,
also needs to find his dad.
Yes, but father will be ensconced in some random tart's knickers at the moment, and sure, I'll find him eventually.
Hopefully not in the middle of the act. That would be weird.
No, that would be quite disgusting.
There's a gentle, sort of almost ginger knock on the door. Tier 4, was it? And
Yes,
sort of,
yes.
She sort of opens the door, and you see Prudence, who's still visibly shaken from like having seen a ghost pop out of nowhere, but only after you guys attacked it, because that's when it became visible to her as well.
How are you doing?
That was quite something. Very unexpected, I must say. Didn't think that that's what I'd be doing today. But I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I was told that you guys might have some queries about town records or the library or anything like that. If you need me, I'll be upstairs. I can show you around.
Didn't young Xu'xa want to go investigate the town library? Wasn't that one of her?
I did. I thought that it was. Okay, so we're doing that now? Is that?
We're here.
Sure.
Okay, very well. I'll show you the way. Anyone that wants to come is welcome. And she kind of heads off into the main chamber that you guys fought the ghost in, and heads up this kind of flight of stairs that's on the corner, wooden stairs that leads up to the floor above, and takes you through a couple of rooms until, one second, just make sure I have it right. What I'll do is I'll show you the plan of the town hall. It's number 5.
I, for one, am glad that
Okay, so
wasn't just stockade. It wasn't just the town stockade. Oh yeah, that's the town stockade. She didn't pay her taxes.
the library is on the 3rd floor, and it is the sort of rightmost chamber there. So she takes you up 2 flights of stairs into the library there, and what you see is, it's a small room, but it's filled chock full of dusty bookcases, with volumes everywhere, some really old looking, some a little bit newer, and there's like a couple of tables and desks for people to read, and there's an empty sort of desk for what you gather might have been a librarian at some point, someone to keep sort of everything tidy. And it says, do you know what you're looking for, or was there something specific?
It was. Do you have any materials or any books regarding dragons, mechanical dragons, or Shardolin?
I can find something about Shardolin for sure, and dragons. I'm afraid mechanical dragons it's probably beyond the scope of this library, but I shall have a look for you. We can go through that. And was that it? Was there anything else?
Sorry, do you have Book of Animals?
Yes, we have a few books on animals.
Oh, I would like something to read while Xu'xa does her research.
Sure. Okay. She grabs sort of like an encyclopedia of sort of woodland creatures and animals and gives it to you. But in terms of the books you've requested, Xu'xa, do you want to roll an investigation check with advantage as you go through books that's kind of through the bookcases with her?
19.
19? Okay. So, what you find as you kind of go, she's kind of trying to help you find the books, is sort of on the history of dragons is a book, and kind of, it's got a compendium of information about the different types of dragons, red dragons, green dragons, black dragons. It talks about all the different types and their history as far as humanity knows it. A brief sort of chapter on the war between giants and dragons, but it's kind of it's an overview. In terms of sorry, mind blank, was dragons, mechanical dragons, and what was the third book? Shardolin. So there's an annal about the history of Icewind Dale that mentions Shardolin, and in there, this is what you find out. So I'll just read out the Shardolin information. 1 second. So you learn that more than 100 years ago, before now, a wizard named Akar Kessel found an artifact suffused with demonic magic called the Krenishibon, and used it to erect a great black tower in Icewind Dale. When this tower was destroyed, the magic used to create it fused with surrounding ice to form what is now known as Shardolin, a non-magical crystalline substance strong as metal, though considerably easier to work with than steel. Since then, more deposits of Shardolin have been found across Icewind Dale, and they tend to be diffused with demonic magic. Any prolonged contact with Shardolin that has become suffused with demonic magic can warp a creature's mind, causing madness. Chardalyn is cold to the touch and readily accepts magical enchantment, making it an ideal substance for wands, staffs, and other magic items. And it can be suffused with like holy energy or demonic energy. Either way, it'll become either a holy object or a desecrated object, and it'll have a corresponding kind of effect on humanoids that are in close proximity to it. That's what you learn about Chardalyn.
Can I look for something? Oh, sorry.
About how it's created. I mean, other than the you did say how it was created, but
it seems to imply that it was created, at least as far as they know, it was created by this.
No, I got that, but I just there's nothing about getting rid of it. Like nothing about. No way to destroy it.
The objects themselves are not they're destructible. They're not indestructible, and smashing them to pieces will sort of ruin them.
Yeah. Can it be destroyed though? Like, can it actually be destroyed? It sounds like it can only be broken up into shards, and then you're stuck with the shards. But ultimately, those don't.
You gather that sort of holy. Sorry, go on, Duergar.
It seems like there's two different scenarios. Xu'xa, like if it's just raw material that you're using to build something like the dragon, then yeah, I don't see how you could destroy it. But if it's a single piece that's been created with a very powerful enchantment, then smashing it up sounds like it would at least break the enchantment and turn it back into just raw material, which would be something.
Okay.
So that's what you gather from that. In terms of dragon, is there any information specific that you're looking for about dragons?
Why was I'm not really sure. Why was a red dragon heart used? Is that significant? Is it not?
You go through the chapter on dragons and red dragons, and you gather that these are inherently magical creatures, and the power of a dragon's breath, if it can be utilized by magic to make things, for example, would hold great power. It would be able to kind of create things that are not able to be created by normal metalwork.
Duergar doesn't specifically have any blacksmith skills, but would he have any dwarven heritage that would have stories of using dragons or dragon hearts or anything to power?
Roll a history check with advantage.
Can I using my sage background roll some knowledge about that?
Sure.
Can I have a look for something in the library?
Sure. What are you looking for?
Anything on magical ingredients or constructs, and specifically like failures.
I don't know what you mean.
So basically anything on magical constructs and what makes them tick, and within that I'm looking for big don't do's. Like anything like warning, do not like introduce holy energy to the power source or it will explode, kind of thing.
Don't feed them after midnight, that kind of thing.
Roll an investigation check. But going back to Xu'xa...
15. History check was 15.
15? You would know that the power of sort of the fire power of a red dragon and the magic suffused in that would be able to sort of create very sort of high-powered magical objects, and it would kind of allow the workings of magically treated sort of stuff without breaking enchantments.
I got a dirty 20. So can I would say that dragon hearts can be used to fuel other things. Dragon hearts are very powerful magical items in themselves, and they can be used to start engines, used to produce fire, produce magical items themselves. They're an incredibly powerful tool, especially some of the more powerful dragons, like red dragons themselves. So they can be quite merrily used to fuel a construct of some description as well.
Now, as you're helping Prudence look through...
Can I ask something else, please?
Yeah, sure.
Can I please ask what Zahn was looking at?
Sure. Let me have a look. And she kind of goes through the ledger for the library, and she gives you a few things. She gives you a book called Netheril, The Lost Empire. And it's a book that talks about this magical empire from a bygone era that where basically it was a magocracy where it was run by wizards. They were the government, and they were so powerful that their cities flew. They were able to float entire cities and travel with their city wherever they wanted. And they fell eventually when they tried to get so powerful that they wanted to basically challenge the gods, and a magical experiment went awry and led to their downfall. And he kind of basically he checked that particular book out and had a look through it. The other thing you find is that she says it says here he also took out some a record of town sort of stories, and she gives you that particular volume, and it's kind of a collection of a variety of anecdotes from yesteryear, of people like talking about strange things that have happened and that they found in the in this area.
Any bookmarks? Are there any slips of paper in the book? Is there anything to mark the pages?
Sure.
Is there any writing on the sides of the pages?
Roll an investigation check.
I should aid Xu'xa.
6. No, 8. Sorry.
And sorry, with advantage because he's aiding you.
Oh. In that case, 17.
17? Okay. What you find is a couple of things in these two volumes. Inside the volume with the stories, you find an anecdote from, a story that was kind of passed generation to generation about the great black spike that fell from the sky. And it has a little underline underneath that says Eureka. And in the book about Netheril, you look at the description of some of the towns, and it says about the great spires of the floating cities, and it has an underlining there as well. And the anecdote about the thing that fell from the sky talks about a particular area, sort of northwest of here.
What was it called? Sorry.
Netheril,
No, just what you just.
Oh, sorry.
What you just said. Sorry, I don't know what it was.
Okay. So there's two bits. One about the
stuff, but the spires of something.
Yes. So the passage that talks about the great spires of the floating cities. So the towers, basically. Okay.
I got a 14, by the way, on my search.
This is a small library. You look through.
That's fair.
There's nothing quite like what you're looking for.
That's fair.
So
Rover's just gotten the section on Chult, and it's like, ooh, what's a T-Rex?
I see. The last thing you find, Xu'xa, sorry.
The book of parables. Are they like? Is it based in Icewind Dale?
Yeah, these are anecdotes and like folk tales and kind of retellings of stories passed by generation to generation of kind of myths and stuff about here that people tell. And this is kind of like a family story that's been passed down by generations about some great spike that fell from the sky into the tundra. But whilst you're also helping sort of Prudence look through and find all the books, you find something else that catches your attention. It is Let me just double check. A worn book with red leather cover and yellow pages. The edges of the pages are stained with dry blood.
How dry?
Well, she's found it. That's up to her.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, did you ask me something?
I said that as you're looking through trying to find all this information, you also found a book, a worn book with a red leather cover and yellow pages, and the inside of the pages are stained with dry blood. It seems to be... Sorry.
I open the book and I try to find the title in there.
It seems
What
to be
does
a
it say?
poetry anthology, as far as like the contents seem to be, just poems.
I tell Prudence I'm taking this book as well.
Sure.
But is there anything else remarkable about it? It's just a blood-soaked book, poetry book.
Well, as far as you can tell, it seems to be just a poetry book. But the blood is dry, but it's relatively fresh, from what you can tell.
Is it on the cover? Is it inside?
It's mostly on the pages. Yes, Rover?
If I noticed this, I would think that's strange and throw up a detect magic just to be like, that's not normal.
The book is wrapped in illusory aura. It is shrouded in magic.
That's yes. I don't think this is a book on poetry. It is so full of illusion magic. It's not funny. I don't know how to get rid of illusion, but just saying. You know, for
I
future
can't do that right now, but maybe if I get a little stronger.
Okay.
I have one other Charlatan-related question, Dre.
Mm-hmm.
Do either in our researches here and other stories have we heard of any weaponsmiths who work in Charlatan? If it's obsidian-like and it takes enchantment extremely well, that seems like that would be an awesome thing to make a weapon out of.
So, from having examined some of the material you found in the Duergar outpost, your dwarven kind of background, even though you were taken from your family at such a young age, it's kind of in your blood, and you did learn some of the stuff. So, and you could tell that even though it was hard as steel, it would be as malleable almost as glass. It would be really easy to make objects out of, and it would definitely be able to make some really cool weapons out of it.
You would need, I would assume you'd need some kind of enchantment to hold the edge and make it stable and strong enough to actually use that way, but...
To work as a normal metal, you'd probably be able to get away with normal forging. If you wanted to turn it into a magical weapon, then that would be different.
Would Xu'xa have said aloud the thing about what she learned about Charlatan?
I don't know. Would she? I mean, you guys were all kind of crowding and sort of helping, so I'm guessing yes, maybe, but I don't know. It's
Xu'xa?
I think that I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess I'll.
Excuse me one moment. I'm gonna go test the theory. I'll turn to the others and I say, it says holy magic can negate the desecration, right? I can do holy magic. I'm gonna try purify the statue.
Okay.
I will walk up to the statue.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make sure that I'm taking cover? I'm moving.
It's 2 floors down, so you're good. Like the statue is 2 floors down.
That you're like, if I saw him going, I'm testing something out. I'm ducking for cover.
I would have explained the rest. Okay.
I'm
gonna try purify the statue.
Where am I gonna hide? Okay. Cool.
Like how you attacked and then went invisible.
Okay. So you're going downstairs to try and purify the statue. How are you going to do that?
I am going to take my remaining 18 points of lay on hands, which is holy healing magic.
Okay.
It's all I have left right now. And I'm going to dump all of it into the statue.
Healing cure target. No. You do so, but you now what? Like you
divine
pour-
sense again?
It's still a desecrated object.
Alright, fair enough.
That didn't work.
It's either not enough or not the right kind. I go up and I tell them.
And finally, can I ask for a book about the different passages and exits out of Icewind Dale?
Sure.
Whether they be ones that haven't been used for a long time, any kind of trade route, or anything that hadn't been used for some time, or any way over the water, or...
And Prudence is quite happy to chat to you about that. And she says, I mean, I can tell you if you like, that obviously there's the mountain pass, which is very difficult to negotiate at the moment. We have, 1 second, Angajuk's Bell. There's this location near the sea of moving ice where you can catch, and she kind of smiles, this... I would call it fairy, I guess, but it's an awakened sperm whale, and on her back is a raft, a boat that is held there by magic, and if you're able to negotiate passage, she can take you somewhere.
Are any animals in this place not awakened? I'd say to everybody else.
Sorry. Like, Rover would be like, "Oh, what's that?" and like be skimming through the book to get to the W, whale, sperm, and be like, "Ah."
But other than that, it's quite difficult. The only sort of place that I would say probably still has a reliable ship service is the prison at Revel's End. Are you familiar with that prison?
That's in Easthaven, yes?
It's further up north, but yes, it's within probably a day's march, maybe 2 days' march from Easthaven.
Would Rover know of it in his roving around? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll roll a history check.
How many prisoners are currently occupying this one? At Revel's End.
Revel's End? I'm not too sure, but as far as I know, it's at least... actually, let me double check, because I actually have the number here. And technically, I have to roll. 4d12 worth of prisoners. Let's see what I get. There's at least 20 or 30 people, as far as I know, but it changes from time to time. It's where the worst of the worst criminals from the Sword Coast get sent.
Oh, they sound like a very good army. Okay, lastly, what information do you have about sunlight?
I don't know what it is, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Do you have anything on Duergar?
Roll an investigation check.
14.
You find a small volume on the kind of the people of the Underdark, the peoples of the Underdark, and it has a couple of chapters on Duergar. What are you looking for? What sort of information?
Anything that will help us infiltrate their sort of weaknesses. Anything that we can talking on Caliban's plan of sneaking in there and doing some damage.
Okay, give me a second. Let's see.
They all have very strong peanut allergies, for example.
The passage notes that they're sensitive to sunlight, that they don't like it, and it kind of, it gives them trouble. But, there's no sunlight at the moment, at least no natural sunlight in this vale. And that they seem to be resistant to magics and poisons and other things.
I'm gonna go to the magic shop person if I have time.
Well,
If I assume I would have overheard this information. Would you have relayed this?
Of course.
Cool. Thank you. Can I go to Salazar?
just want to make sure that we're finished with the library. If there's anything
Yeah.
else anyone wants to do here.
I believe so.
I think, yeah.
Okay. So, Caliban wants to go to the magic shop. Are you guys going along? Are you guys going to the tavern or to the inn or anywhere else?
I'm ready for
Yeah,
sleep, so I'm following along, but I'm slowly like trying to hint people to be like, rest time, rest should be coming up.
All right.
In the same way that Rover is kind of also hinting it's beer o'clock. Beer o'clock, right?
So
Go plus shop,
who's
but
going
then
to the
beer
magic
o'clock.
shop? Everyone or? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Actually,
So you walk through the door, you make your way back out of the town hall and get to Salazar's magic shop, and you walk through the door, and once again he's behind the counter reading a volume and kind of turning the pages with his fingers doing this, but he's not touching the pages as they're turning. And he looks up and goes, "Ah, my favorite new customers.
Good day to you, sir.
Good day. What brings you into my shop today?"
Potentially looking to offload a little bit more Duergar armor, and secondly, we may have a commission if you're feeling up to the challenge.
Well, I can certainly take more off your hands. I have all I can handle at the moment, so I can't give you as good a price as last time, I'm afraid, but I'd be happy to buy it for a quarter of the price.
I think that's probably. I turned to the others. Think that's probably as good as we're gonna get. I turn to the others. I turn to him. We'll take it, and I hold up the 2 scale mails and the 2 war picks.
And he takes them off your hands and hands you, I think it would be 50 gold full price, wouldn't it? If you double check.
Yeah.
It is? Okay. So you get 12 back for each one, so 24, I think.
So 24 and like 5 silver total for the war picks, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I distribute it, so 24 gold. There's 6 of us. 3, 6, 9, 12. Wow, I can't do math for shit. Yeah, 3. I give everybody 3 gold. Sorry, 4 gold. I give everybody 4 gold.
okay, 24 divided by 6 is 4.
I think this is the first treasure distribution that Duergar has been part of.
Me too, for a while.
Whoa.
I've not.
And they said
I'm the
in an
P.O.
adventuring life.
Don't let fame and fortune go to your head now, Dubrick. As I hand him the 4 coins. I turn back to Salazar and I say, now for the commission.
Very well. What can I make for you?
Something that makes sunlight. The more the better.
Do you have a specific item in mind?
A drift globe.
1 second.
Out of character, a drift globe.
Okay. I'm not finding it on the list.
It's 1 word, drift globe.
That'll be why. It's an uncommon item. Okay. That'll be... Ah, yes. Very well, I can probably make that for you in about 2 weeks worth of work. It'll be 200 gold pieces.
That's a really good price. I turn to the others. I don't think we have 2 weeks.
No. I don't think we have 2
Crap.
Oh.
How long has passed since we first met up and since we saw Ravison? How many days have gone by?
Since Ravison has been about... it's been at least 10 days. Like, you guys have been here 13 days total.
What?
Well, we have enough time because I guess in some ways we've got to. We have an appointment to get to in a couple of weeks in a different part of this place, and I think it'll still be here by that time. So you can.
Will it?
It might be. And if it's not, you'll never have to pay. So,
I turned to Salazar. What a kidder.
I'm afraid, miss, that my work would require payment up front. It is quite a lot of...
okay.
Technically,
You
we
just
could
had
collect
to
it
say
off
something.
your dead
But nice
fiancé.
try. Nice try.
All right. If we bumped up the fee, could you rush it any amount?
I'm afraid it's a question about sort of the amount of sort of time it takes to infuse the enchantment and have it take hold and the preparations necessary. I might be able to speed it up a little bit. I could probably do it if I forwent some of my other commissions and things I'm supposed to be doing. I could probably do it in a 10-day.
For how much?
I would probably have to charge 50% on top, so 300 gold pieces.
That is perfectly reasonable in terms of just logistically. I think that's fair. I turn to the others. If Duergar are vulnerable to daylight, this could be a game changer, particularly if things don't go as planned. That said, do we think we can afford to lose 10 days?
Well, we have to deal with this. Wasn't with you at this point. A Ravison issue first before we go off to the Duergar.
Can we deal with that?
No, we probably
Oh,
We can
right.
go back.
We owe her money.
Oh.
We owe her money. Sorry, I had to.
Oh, how much money do we owe her?
we don't owe her money.
We never actually
We
agreed
did
on a
promise to
specific
negotiate a
amount.
settlement between her and the villagers, the townspeople,
I pointed to Durbin and go, what he said.
to help broker an arrangement. At the time, I thought confidently that we would be uncovering treasure and other items of interest, but that hasn't necessarily played out. But I think there's opportunity for us to just help some negotiations happen. Brokers.
Just sort of out of game. Like you do have 600 gold pieces unless you have already
I was about to
distributed
say,
them, and
we
you also
hadn't,
have
yeah.
the cauldron.
We hadn't distributed them yet.
Yeah,
I was about to
we
just
have to
say,
go.
yeah. Be like, what if we told Ravizon that we had maybe say 50 gold for her that we came across?
I think, I mean, the subtleties of the social fabric aren't really my thing, but I think if we get the speaker of the town to offer something up in good faith, I think she seemed to be open to that, and maybe it's not a buyer
Yeah.
off the payment for her sister, but instead broker some conversation. Absolutely
this
not my
idea.
thing. I'd rather solve this kind of problem with an axe, but
I was going to say,
I agree with Dubrick.
Druids don't need gold. Druids want other things. I only use gold for beer.
Xu'xa?
I want beer.
I turn to Salazar and I'm just sort of leaning forward and I'm like, well, we're really not in the market for selling this particular item, but your experience denotes a sense of, I feel like you'll know what this is worth, and I would love to know how much you think it's worth. Well, we have this old hag's cauldron. I mean, we're gonna.
No.
We've got big plans for it, but I'm really interested to know what it's worth.
Very well. This one here that you guys are holding?
Yeah. No,
I didn't say I'm selling it, but I'd really like to know your evaluation of its worth. Please. Thank you. Please and thank
the
you.
brother's walking out the shop with the cauldron.
And I'm just
If it's carrying it over his back through his stuff, he's walked out with it.
I mean, we're only asking for information.
Okay, so you've worked out, but your friend seems to not want to let go of that. Could you tell me what it does? Perhaps I'd be able to give you an evaluation that way.
You've not heard of a hag's cauldron? You've
Well,
not
they
seen
can
one?
do many different things.
Perhaps.
This one can
Be right
see
back. Sorry, I need the
a lot
bathroom.
of food.
I'm sorry. It generates food. How much food would you say? Were you able to identify it?
Oh, oh God! I seem to have a really nasty cough thanks to my...
It makes it really tasty. I mean, we're gonna open up a very successful franchise out of this. But before we do, how much is this worth?
Well, if it makes a large, generous amount of food, I would say that you guys have perhaps one of the most valuable things in this entire valley at the moment. I would say that it would be quite the prize for most of the townspeakers to obtain. I would be quite careful of who you tell the powers of this cauldron to. That being said, this town does sorely need something of that nature. I would be remiss to not say that I would probably end up letting Speaker Wayland know of these powers so that he could make you an offer. As you've seen, we're suffering here.
I do. And at least I know that if we do get in trouble because we have this special cauldron, it's because of you. But thank you so much, because we haven't spoken to anybody else about this. So it's very easy to just follow this chain of information.
I would say keep it safe, and
But it's interesting that you don't want to disclose any kind of amount.
Well,
But that gives me a good idea of just how valuable it is. Thank you so much.
in any other time, this cauldron would probably fetch rare. I would probably say somewhere between 2,000 to 4,000 gold pieces. But in the situation that we are at the moment, it's probably worth, it's
Maybe?
what's the damn it, I'm looking for the word for priceless. It's essentially priceless, is it not?
Priceless. I love that word. That's a great word.
Men cannot live off gold. Men cannot eat gold.
Did you come back
I'm
in,
not there,
Tasha?
I was gonna say, I'm actually there.
Okay. Thank you. But, well, if we have to talk to a town speaker, of course we will. But, we really like this cauldron. I just wondered how much it was worth.
The town is suffering, and I will be speaking with Wayland to make you guys an offer. I don't know how much he's got, but I'm assuming he'll offer as much as he can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You've been very helpful.
Oh, dear God.
Sorry, held that as long as I could. What I miss? Sorry, held that as long as I could. What I miss?
Xu'xa asked Salazar about the worth of the cauldron, explaining what it does.
What's it worth?
He estimates that it would be worth at least 2,000 gold pieces at any normal point in time, but considering the effects of this never-ending winter and the everlasting rime of the Frostmaiden, it's priceless, and people will want to offer as much as they've got to obtain it.
Did you hear that, Caliban? He said priceless.
That means we can milk every penny.
Xu'xa, you got a little something in your eye. It's, is that a little dollar sign?
I'm just thinking of the good time that we'll have before, we have
Think of all the beers.
Okay, so just so I've got this right.
All of the beers.
So, just so I got this right, Xu'xa, your plan is to sell the cauldron, live like kings until our untimely death at the hands of the Shardolin dragon.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Alright, I'm in. Campaign over. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
I'm just like, I'm in the corner, just going, oh God, no.
The other argument here is with very large amounts of cash, we could mount a serious expedition. We could bring
That's what I'm saying.
magic items and weapons to bear on this that normal townspeople would never dare.
I mean, when someone says priceless, I think that's a challenge because I can come up with a price.
Sorry,
I
guys.
can come
Have
up
you
with
guys
a
come out of
price
the shop
for
yet?
you.
Are we out of the shop yet? Or are we still in the shop?
Are you guys being involved in the conversation yet?
Mine was out of the shop comments, definitely.
Mine was within the shop, but
I'm like,
We're out of the shop.
you've just put a target on our back.
Do you remember when we made a plan to not tell anybody that we had this?
We just have.
We made plans. You like ruining plans today.
it is priceless. Priceless. You had the
Just
man.
put a target on a back. Every little person is going to be after us if they know we have this cauldron. Because if one person, there's no secret if more than one person knows, right? With us knowing, and now everyone will know.
Remind me of the title of this channel.
We
It's
could
called
say
Kill
you
Monsters.
all have to agree to help us stop these Duergar, or you won't get a
Again,
nice.
I'm sorry.
The
We
town's
agree
gonna
as group.
forge some sort of an
We agree.
alliance. If the town's going to forge some sort of an alliance, then the collective town speakers can figure out the best way to deploy this cauldron, and we can use the cash on things that will help us be more effective in our own way. I didn't sign up to
Yes,
this party to be a food distribution service necessarily.
But also,
I
we had
tapped
agreed
Durbek
to
on the
not
shoulder to be
kill
like,
anyone until we had decided what we were going to do with it.
Yeah, I get that. I get
yes, things
Xu'xa,
change.
you are good at rolling points.
But things
Oh.
change. my
Again,
friend.
I've never been this furious except at Caliban when I first met him.
I feel like it was just a matter of time before someone found out about Lovely
Yeah.
Red Cauldron.
Maybe
and
you should have
I wanted to
discussed
get
that
jump
with the
on
group.
that and figure out
I
how
look at yeah.
Why are you guys always dragging that cauldron around with you everywhere you go?
I look at Ro.
Very good stew. It's very good stew.
I put my hand on his shoulder to be like, I understand your anger, your frustration. I show him. I open up my jacket to show him where the hole was, and I was like, "Do you remember that I have been very poor since I have been in this land? So it's nice to have a little bit of change. And as much as we had a plan at the beginning, things change. I have almost died." So I'm a new man. So I'm with Durbek on this one.
If we could convince people that we had the power to
Are you guys just talking
Take away-
outside the shop, or are you
Yeah.
going
At this
somewhere?
point,
I
Yeah.
imagine my
I've
wife,
left
at
it,
this
yeah.
point, Rove is just
Are we
like,
walking to
no,
the-
I'm going to the pub.
I say to the others,
To the pub
Think
or
about
to the
the
inn?
days.
Are you going to the tavern or to the inn?
Sorry, to the inn, sorry, yes, to the inn for pint and where we're going to stay.
Okay.
I say to the others, if we could somehow get people to believe that we have the power to take away the enchantment on the cauldron whenever we want, that may disincentivize someone trying to take it for themselves.
Let
Or
them
we
come.
could make them compete for it. 10 towns, like competing, like we can get the
What? Make us the best offer.
This is what we didn't
I
want.
look at her face.
Or we can have a judging panel where they're brightest and most talented fighters. I don't know. Like we could make a competition out of it, couldn't we? We could make it a. Yeah.
I'm okay with the money.
can put
I
aside
mean,
their-
I can come up with the price.
Okay.
That is
You
not a
said it
problem.
better than anyone, Xu'xa, about putting aside petty competition. Right? If they're going to figure out how to work together to fend off this threat,
Yes.
then certainly food security is part of how they have to fend off the threat.
Also, they have a money problem. Let's help them with it.
They
Should
have too much money? Is that what you're saying?
I believe so.
Okay.
I mean,
Not
in
enough
that
food.
case,
Too much money.
In that case, we could always go back to the town speaker and tell him that we have this and volunteer this information to him and negotiate. And he could use this as a way to get everybody to get on side with what he needs from them. And
The one wrench I might put into all of this is that I do not trust the leaders of Targos. If anyone was going to do something nefarious, particularly concerning this cauldron, in terms of exploiting
Which
it,
is-
it would be them.
This is again why we kept it secret. We decided to keep it secret because as soon as one town hid it, we knew that they would all try and fight over it because they're all desperate. This is not a way to unite tribe. This is a way to break tribe.
oh, oops, sorry.
But what if the other tribes come to this tribe and become
So-
an effort to be bigger?
The Salazar's shop isn't too
They
far
cannot
away
have
from
enough
the.
food. Cannot feed.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was gonna say Salazar's shop isn't that far away from the White Lady Inn, so you guys kind of arrived there. Do you continue talking as you go in, or are you staying outside? Are you going into it?
Oh yeah, we're talking. This ain't over.
Yeah.
So Rover, who
This
do
is
you
far from
trust?
over.
Go in, and you kind of have to. Where are you? Are you bringing this giant cauldron inside? What are you doing with it?
Yes, I've been behind it the entire time.
We're not leaving it anywhere.
Yeah, but-
We're not taking our eyes off
My
it right
food
now.
stuff through
As a
like
side
it is like
note, I-
full loops. my quarterstaff is through it, and I'm kind of carrying my quarterstaff over my
Sure,
back. Like
but
that's
it's
the
one
kind of-
thing to carry it, another thing to sit down at a booth or whatever you guys are doing for dinner with a cauldron on your back.
No,
So
I'm getting a pint and I'm camping out. I'm over this.
camping out outside.
Yeah.
With a pint.
Yeah, I'm going to take a pint and then leave the bar and go and camp. I'm not going to stay in the I'm not going to stay in the place. I'm going to go camp out of town.
Okay.
I'm going to go be druid.
All right. You guys grabbing a booth and grabbing some drinks to continue?
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to talk this shit through.
I'm keeping a clear head, so I forgo the ale.
Okay.
No, see, I'm feeling spirited, so I'm like, ale, because I'm like, we're gonna sell this fucking cauldron.
Hey, I thought you were the whiskey guy.
No, I like ale. Like I've learned my lesson with whiskey. This time, I know I need to keep a little bit of a stray head. So,
All right.
ale, please.
So the elderly proprietor Bartaban, who you guys have met a couple of times, a bit of a sullen sort of person, but you know he's like a normal guy. Comes by and kind of takes your order and pours you guys your drinks, but pretty much leaves you to it. He's kind of doing his own thing. There's a few other people, but this is a much quieter place than the Wet Trout.
So we all know where Rover stands on this. I assume Rover's outside.
I've gone.
Yeah. So
I'm going to move myself so that I don't try and interrupt because I'm not there.
Yeah, I want to know what the rest of you think, because this cauldron, you know, has landed on a footstep. It has been a pain. We need to get rid of it. and I understand the original plan was to be all nice and make sure that we bring balance to the place.
Even if you don't think of it that way, every day that it stays with us and isn't used to feed hungry people.
Yes, that is a good
Day
plan.
that it's staying with us and not being used to feed hungry people.
It's not filling its potential.
On that, I agree. I agree that we should use it to feed people, but I'm afraid that if we give it to a town, then they will abuse it and give it only for the town, not for the whole region. Because as we well know, the towns don't align with themselves very well.
But it seemed as if the town speaker from this particular town was pained by the fact that they they didn't have close enough ties to be sure of their alliances and whether or not they could band together and defend themselves. It seemed pained.
If we led them to believe that the magic of the cauldron only works,
If they get along.
I know, it's silly, I know, but
Yeah, you can.
Yes, gotta
The enchantment is you can only use
they
it to
are
make
fucky
other
like that.
Excuse me, but may I just make out the small point that all they need is an identify spell and they'll know exactly what the cauldron does.
Well, yeah, okay.
But also, as a
Whoa.
question
There are
for
also
everyone.
sorry.
As a question for everyone. Are we here to make friends with everyone, or are we here to kill the monsters? Because we have killed the monsters, and we have gained a cauldron as part of the killing of the monsters. So, in order for us to continue to kill more monsters, I advise that we take advantage of this opportunity that we have in front of us, so that we can continue to help the rest of the people that need our support. We need financial support.
It goes against the idea of freeing up capital for use in our war. But if we're worried about the towns mistreating people, we could give it to the Reged tribes.
If we
Who are
left
living the closest to subsistence anyway.
if we left Nana with it to oversee its security,
I don't offer that as a serious option. I'm just trying to think about how we get some good out of the cauldron without falling into the trap of making this situation with the towns worse.
identify magic doesn't work on everything, particularly more primordial or high level enchantments.
Does Caliban know this? Or is Dungeon Master Romeo there?
What?
Okay, let me rephrase. Would I know that identify doesn't work on everything?
What
Do you have
we owe
proficiency
these
in Arcana?
towns?
I do not.
Then no.
Oreo,
Hakeem does identify work on everything.
Oh,
I
man.
deeply respect
Okay,
your
sorry.
views on this, Oreo. What's your thought about how we get out of this conundrum? Because we're stuck with the goose that could lay golden eggs, but we've got it stopped up so that it can't do its business. A somewhat twisted analogy, I know.
Yeah, it was, but I run with it. My dwarven friend. May I just ponder for a second? I think now the cauldron is out of the bag, as it were, as the saying goes. I think we have to now make forward our suggestion. I think what we do, even though I find her a little abrasive and Caliban is particularly fond of her, I think Indra is a trustworthy individual, and I suggest that I like the idea of putting Nana in charge of the cauldron, because at least she will provide some kind of defense against it being abused, and we make sure it's the use of the whole of the 10 towns for food purposes. That would be my suggestion.
I'm in favor of getting compensation for the cauldron if it means we have the tools we need to sabotage this Shard Island dragon, and that includes the drift globe. I'd personally be in favor of risking waiting for that drift globe because I think the edge it would provide us in a battle against especially a lot of Duergar would be invaluable.
I think what's changed my perspective here, Caliban, and it only reinforces what you're saying, is the priceless word that's captured everyone's attention so firmly. If I thought the cauldron was 500 or 600 gold pieces, and then the trade-off is different. Then if we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of gold pieces, it could make a significant difference not only to the hungry people, but also to our efforts. And it's dramatically more than the drift globe.
But I think that you always knew it would be priceless because of the fact that it would feed the 10 towns.
We don't even never necessarily have to take these people for everything they've got, just a sum that would make a world of difference to us. And we can tell them as such, to say, if you can compensate us handsomely for this, we could also put that money towards ridding you of your Duergar problem.
May I suggest slightly not asking for money per se, but do it on a loan basis? We loan them the cauldron, and we take value of goods that we need, maybe some magical weapons and the sun and the drift globe, and so on and so forth. And then
I think that's reasonable.
And then say,
maybe a house as well. Am I too much? Not like a big house, but like a base for us.
Like a base house. There might be a feasible option, but I think that they could give us some magical items while we go off and fight the Duergar, and then leave Nana in charge of the cauldron and make sure that we come back to it and we use it and they use it for the feeding of all of 10 towns, and that would be our requirement.
And then we set off for Operation Tendon Slice. I don't know, I'm working on the name. What's a sabotagey kind of name?
How about Duergar Destruction?
Yeah, but that's so, forward. We need... The name needs some sneaky element to
Twinkle
it.
Toes.
We'll workshop it. Operation
Twinkle
Twinkle Toes.
As you sort of continue this conversation, you guys now have been kind of going back and forth for quite a bit. The door to the front and to the entrance of the inn swings open as Imdra is holding the door open for the town speaker, and the town speaker says, "Tier 4, a word if you would." And that's where we're going to end. And
I kick the chair out, or the boot, or the little stool next to it. I go, "Sure, have a seat."
You didn't let me finish, and I said, and that's where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I'm like 4 ciders in, and I'm very woozy. That may explain all the different outbursts. So,
I'm on the back end of a red-eye flight.
Hakeem, eat a cookie.
I want the cash. I want the money. I want the gold. Sweet, sweet gold. They said priceless. Nobody ever says priceless when they're negotiating. That means when someone says priceless, you got them by the cojones. You say, "Oh, it's priceless to you, is it? Is it? I can think of Bryce. Like,
I
but
like
to
numbers.
you, it's priceless. To me, there's a price I'm happy with.
Is this where we find out Hakim's family are like slumlords back home or something?
No, they're rich. It's just Hakim is poor because Hakim, remember at the beginning of our journey, realized that he had a hole in his pocket. So although his family are like filthy rich, he has no way of getting any more money due to his past, which someday you'll learn about.
Hakim, have you considered getting a job at a local restaurant? Maybe there's a McDonald's.
Nah, bitch, you too proud for that.
Anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye to our lovely audience. Thank you so much for
Hello,
watching,
bye.
and
Thank
tune in
you.
next week to find out what tier 4 ends up doing with the cauldron.
Every time I hear that
Bye.
name, I feel giggle. I'm so
Bye,
glad I came
everyone.
up with it. Bye.